Just a second, we'll be live and ready to do this. This is the start of a stream, so yippee-ki-yay. Live chat is live. There we go. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We're going to be running through with a Paladin, get a new Paladin done, because I actually did respec the other one so I could try out different skills and see what they looked like. So we are going to need to remake him as well. It was between him and a Druid, because we did respec on the Druid into pets. So we're going to actually go ahead and go full bore into the Paladin and actually go around that. Yes, the open beta is only to Act 2 again. Hello, Frizzle. How's it going? Just getting things set up. And I think we are good. So hopefully everyone is doing all right. I haven't been live too often. I am considering starting to just stream every Saturday, especially after the game finally releases in September. But I may be doing some streams before then as well, just vanilla Diablo 2, maybe some other games as well. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? But let's go ahead and start moving our way through. We've already gone through the 2 acts again, but we do need to get another character up so we can start doing some public games and kind of enjoying it with everyone. And yes, it is open beta, so if you are interested in trying it and seeing if it runs on your system, this is the perfect time to do it. Anyone with a Blizzard Battle.net account can log in and enjoy it. So far, there's not too many people online yet. Oh, the PlayStation 4. I'm sorry, can't crossplay, otherwise I would. Waiting for it to install on console. I need to try it on the PlayStation 4. I don't have my console recording setup. So, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I am going to get a couple levels out here before we go in and do the Den of Evil, just because I want to be able to get at least, well, might, at the very least. And I do think they upped the experience shrines for this, that or there's a bug with the number of experience shrines, because I swear on every Paladin I get like 10 million experience shrines. I'm actually going to be going like straight up proper Holy Fire rather than I'm experimenting with stuff. So yeah, this is going to be more along those lines of what you'd do if you were playing through completely normally. So that's kind of the focus right now. Later on, we might, if we get high enough level, we could consider switching over to a Holy Shock and trying a Tesla in this. Probably wouldn't work out too well. Oh, after open beta? After open beta, I'll probably be starting with Necromancer, by the way. Well, let's see. Hopefully Aussie servers are up for this. Hopefully. There were some issues with the closed beta and the UK servers. Not the UK, the EU. Don't know why I said UK. Probably because I invited someone from the UK to join us, but he is busy today, so we are going solo at first. We might have other people join in later. Might try to get some other YouTubers or streamers in, possibly. But anyway. Aussie servers are... okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I think you're on Oceanic servers with the Aussie ones. I'm not entirely certain there's actually a local Australian server. Bugs and stuff you report through this thing down here in the bottom left next to your life pool. I'm going to be playing both single player and online on release, but it's up in the air as to just how much I'm going to do of each. It depends on the interest in it. Because what I'm going to do single player is I'm going to be transferring over all my saved characters. I may do a Holy Grail as well and keep it just kind of separate. Keep a specific list of Holy Grail characters just for it. So, we'll see how that works out. But I'm debating whether we want to try for that bug again. I don't think we want to. It takes a little bit of extra effort and waste time. And right now we just want to get up and start doing like tomb runs with viewers and stuff like that. Any new items in Diablo 2 Resurrected? No. But single player will have access to ladder only rune words, the Pandemonium event, and Ubers. And I think they are making it so that Cow King kills don't lock you out of cows. So that's going to be a nice change as well. It's not as it might be in your let's go ahead and smack these down before we check, because I do have a controller hooked up. I can look. It's not going to be exactly the same as the PlayStation controller, but that's because I have an Xbox hooked up. Xbox controller, that is. Because my good controller is dead, which makes me kind of sad on the inside. But let's kill these, and I'll switch over to a controller and see if I can find the bug report thing for you real quick. But I think it might be in, like, the, not necessarily pause menu, but the, like, inventory menu. On one of those, the settings menu, somewhere around there. Kind of curious what oddity you found already. There's going to be a few oddities on console that aren't on the PC version, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's like bugs that you run across on there that I can't replicate here. And yes, this is an older build. You can tell by them not updating certain things whenever they did the updates, so there's a lot of things pointing to them not having a lot of... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. There we go. Not having a lot of investment in the code of the beta itself, but more the multiplayer aspect of it. There we go. We're away from any flayers. They won't be reviving, so let's go ahead and grab that gold, back up. And let's see on the controller where the bug thing would be. Let's see. Probably... not even in there. Message log, no. I actually don't see the bug thing in there. That's strange. I don't know where it would be on there. Crap. That was the can of the thing I used to fill up my drink bottle. Yes, so random people killing the Cow King will not affect you anymore. If you accidentally kill the Cow King, it won't affect you anymore. Will all the rune words going to be the fucking blah, blah, blah. Just a second, it's going to take me a second to reread that. All the rune words are going to be in the final game, including the ones that were ladder only. Yes. All of them that were in the game are going to be in the, in the ladder only, are going to be in the final game. The house goes invisible so you can see yourself in the new 3D. It doesn't do that. We can check it. Next time we come across a house, remind me and I'll check it out. I'll see if we can replicate that on PC or not. Because if I remember correctly, on PC, it does go transparent. If it doesn't, I'll report it on here if it doesn't. Report it live. Just basically transparency effects on houses need work. And already it does feel fairly stable. I think if we were in a we are in multiplayer, but if we were in a multi-person game, it might feel a little bit different, because right now we don't really have too many points of reference other than the monsters themselves. But yeah, all ladder rune words will be available. All things like that are going to be in it. They have not announced exactly how the Pandemonium event will work. I mean, not the Pandemonium, the clone will work in single player. I hope it's not going to rely on you trying to sell 100 Stones of Jordan. Otherwise, you're going to get one chance, maybe in your entire life, at trying to fight clone Diablo. And yeah, you can call me Al. I don't know that song, but... unless it's a... that's not a Weird Al song. But, I mean, you could sing the Weird Al song as my intro, I guess, if you want to. But yeah, most people do call me Al or Als. There was one person who used to call me Al Hazir. Yes, like the mercenary. I'm trying to think what other names people have called me. Besides asshole. I mean, that's kind of a universal one. But... might be a PS4 or console only thing. Yeah, if we can reproduce it, though, I will report it. I'll try to reproduce it. So, and yes, we transferred over items, song by... oh, Paul Simon. Huh. I did not know that was the song that he sang. Will latter seasons give you anything that will not be in the regular game? Not that I'm aware of. I think they're trying to move away from that and make the latter season much more of just for the competitive people. and they're still up in the air about how long it's going to be. They've been saying 3 months, which doesn't seem unreasonable. 3 or 6 months would be my first two choices. That way it's quarterly or twice annually reset on it. With ladder rune words not being exclusive to ladder, like now rune words are just rune words, I do see shorter seasons being more viable, if that makes sense. So with that change, I would say, hey, guess what? We can now be looking at maybe doing 3-month seasons and actually not having it draw back on people. I love Weird Al. Weird Al is awesome sauce. Let's see. Let's go ahead and identify. Oh, we did not want that. Had someone mentioned that they were having issues randomly picking stuff up in the game, by the way. No pickup actually still works in here. So if you actually are having that issue, just type /no pickup. I don't know if there's a console equivalent, but on PC, that's how you do it. And now, if we say drop this, you can't pick it up without pressing your item show button. So it helps out. Let's go ahead and get up to 30. Oh, no, I have to go up to 40. It's going to bother me if I don't have a nice number on that one. So anyway, offensive auras, let's go ahead and get might. We'll go ahead and get the 1 sacrifice. It still bugs me that these are inverted. Some shrines do reset, not all of them. It depends on the shrine. Some have a reset timer of, I think it's like usually around 5 minutes. So it's a long while even if they do reset, but the short, there's some that don't reset at all. Like XP shrines don't reset. You'll get it once and then you won't see it refill until you get to the next game. And it would be a different shrine then too if you had the same map. But yes, a lot of them recharge. So we've got those. Let's go ahead and get the resist fire point. Switch into might. And yes, we are going for 1 zeal. We're going to do the other kind of sloppy route. Got to see him in concert 2 years ago, sang for a solid 2.5 hours. Yeah, he is... Supposedly his live performances are amazing. I'm not big on live performances. I don't do well with crowds. So, yeah, it's one of those things that's just kind of like, I would love to see it, but I'd also probably want to get nosebleed seats, basically. We don't even want to bother identifying those. That's going to go away. And yes, we are selling pretty much everything that we just don't need. I'll identify that. Free attack rating, it's fine. You need Enigma by Sunday. Oh, no. Thank you for the chat, Jack. I highly doubt I'll be able to get the Enigma, but we are going to be doing some public games, so it might help it a little bit. They don't let us go any further, no. It's just the first 2 acts, same set of characters, all that kind of jazz. And I'm going to hate this club, but it's a lot more, like, yeah, 7 to 26 versus, yeah. Actually, it's not actually that much better. I'm still going to use it because we haven't had a chance to use it yet. I'm not a huge fan of knockback, if you guys didn't know. But it will work for now. But I do need a belt of some sort. I guess we'll take that one. That way we at least can have potions in our belly. I mean, I will try to get runes, but this is how close we are to an Enigma. It would be a nightmare to get to. You learn something new about Diablo 2 every day. I mean, it's technically possible to craft up to anything. If you were so determined, you could get everything you needed as far as runes go in Act 1. You could get every gem you needed in Act 1. You could technically get... Trying to think. You could get every base item by Act 4. In normal, that is. Through upgrades. But you wouldn't be able to get them as white items. You'd only be able to get them as magic... No, you'd only be able to get them as rarer, unique upgrades. Oh, I'm going to say something. If anyone thinks that all the acts are not being tested, they're being tested. They're just not publicly tested. The reality is this is a marketing thing. This is the only actual like QA going on with this is server load. Yeah, we're catching bugs here and there. Some of them are probably already fixed in the working version. And that's why you don't see them patched again. Like the loading screen you don't see changing. But yeah, we are just one-shotting things right now. That's awesome. But that's why certain things don't change, because they're probably already fixed in the core code. It's too much work to bring it over to the beta branch, which the beta branch is almost always going to be a completely separate branch. Visual assets are easy to bring over, but the actual code and stuff and how it works with each other, not so much. I'm not explaining it well, and I apologize, but that's just how off-the-cuff commentary be doing. But yeah, it works on branches. About testing Diablo 2 Classic without Lord of Destruction. I don't know if they allow it in this or not. I haven't found a way to make a like non-LOD character. See where the game runs stable and the graphics and effects look at least decent. I mean, they've shown previews of each of the other acts as well. But the game seems to run decent, so at least in the first 2 acts. The only thing I can think of maybe causing a... Why is that not picking up? There we go. The only thing I can think of maybe causing a little bit of an issue would possibly, maybe, and that's not where we want to go, but the only thing I can think of that might cause an issue might be large groups like flayers, but we're already seeing that a little bit with the Fallen and stuff. Like right here, you're going to encounter maybe a little bit more than this amount. And why do we do... Oh, because we have no pickup enabled. That's why. There we go. Now it'll auto pick up gold. That is interesting, and I didn't realize that no pickup actually affects your gold pickup as well. Because you can see it's auto picking it up now. And we might come back through here with Holy Fire and kill all these guys off. I'm not terribly concerned about it. Just a second and I'll approve that message. I'm just in the middle of a fight at the moment. We could do some pacifist style stuff as well. I don't think I want to do that in the beta though. And yes, we actually have plenty of resources, so I don't really have to pick up and sell things. I don't even have to be picking up that gold. Try restarting your place. I forgot to check that. We should still have a few places with houses in them. Stony Field, if I remember correctly, can spawn houses, so can a few others. Minor healing, light healing. But yeah, I don't think we'll have any public access to the later acts until the final release. Now, if they do decide to run a second beta, I wouldn't be surprised if they include the other classes, but I would not hold my breath on it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'd have to set up the PlayStation 4 and actually look at that stuff. I might do that. Well, actually, I need to do an art stream later tonight. But I might try to look at it during whenever I'm having dinner. To see if I can actually figure out kind of some of the stuff on there. I don't have the premium thing on there, though. So I don't know if I'd be able to download it or not. But I guess that would be a good test. Because I don't do anything online with the PlayStation, so usually. I'd have to like redeem a 30 days free kind of thing for it. Let's go ahead and bash all these guys because they're really good experience. We did level up as well. We are level 5. Darn it, we don't have what we want. So resist fire again. Reason we're dumping into resist fire is going to make holy fire stronger whenever we finally get to it. Hey, Creech, how's it going? It says it's available when you click on the beta. There's no download button, so you can't chat on consoles. How can you do the... That's another one that's going to have to be tested. If I have an answer, I'll give it to you, but... Is my PlayStation 4 updated? Hell no. It's nowhere even close to updated. So that would be another thing that I have to do. It's been... Oh, geez. It's been sitting in its box, because I put it back in the box since December of last year. So it's definitely not updated. Holy Grail potential for Resurrected. Has there been confirmation of Pluggy to be able to store all the items? There has not been confirmation of Pluggy, but it would not surprise me if one pops up, because there's probably a few people already working on Pluggy or Pluggy equivalent things just to see who can get it out first. And that was our first rubber band. You got it to download on the 17th. You're not sure why it wouldn't work. Was it while the closed beta was still active, possibly? You're definitely going Thornsy here. Ooh, poison resist. I will take it. I will always take more resists. That is not something that I do not want. Even if it's over max resist, I'll take it. I do have to wonder if there might be like possibly some server issues right now, because I guarantee you right around 12 there was probably a decent spike in the number of people trying to download it, because a lot of people didn't realize that you could pre-load the game. So yeah, it is still worth trying though. Should be freely available, but like I said, there might be some restrictions as far as you need to have one of the like Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus or whatever it's called. I always forget what it's called. I'm sorry. I always forget whether it's an alliteration or... Because I know that there's also a PlayStation Live service and stuff like that. I used to get PlayStation Underground. There's so many PlayStation services. Jeez. I miss the PlayStation Underground discs. Demo discs are something that I loved. And I'm really sad to not see them around. I'm so glad these guys are at least a little bit knockback resistant. Chip Diamond, yes. I will keep taking the gems. I am trying to upgrade them. And so we are doing it semi-relaxed, but not exactly slow. Mainly because I play this game to relax. It's not the only thing I do with my life, but it is one of my outlets. There you go. Let's see, nothing good there. We want to keep going through the blue guys. If you guys ever wonder, like, whenever I see little red fallen and stuff like that in here, like those guys, I won't go down the path that I saw them on, because they are an indicator that you are going down a dead end, because they only show up in the camps. So... Yes, the beta is only normal difficulty. The finished one will, of course, include hell and stuff like that. And there are bugs that we will only be able to discover in hell, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's also one of those things that they are probably testing in-house. If I had to, like, guess or put money on it or anything. For your first character, depends on what you want to farm. If you're wanting to farm bosses, Sorceress. Hammerding can be good for that as well if you get a teleport staff. Whereas if you're going to be farming runes, you have to pretty much go Sorceress early on. because otherwise you'll be burning through so much money using the teleport that it won't be really worth it. You could do a Burst of Speed Assassin for runes, but that's a whole different situation. But generally, if you're looking to farm and you're experienced with the game, start with the Sorceress. If you're not experienced with the game, Paladin. And I'd probably go Zealot through normal. Don't start out in normal as a Hammerden. I don't really know why people keep recommending people do that. As a Hammerden, you're going to hate life until you get access to a Spirit and an Insight. Because until then, you just don't have the mana for that. Unless you were just completely over-leveled. Do I think Summoner Necro would be a good starter? No, not for a new player. For a seasoned player, it can be. It is entirely possible to just completely stomp the difficulty with a Summoner Necro. The thing is, a new player won't know how to deal with bosses. Because bosses do 4 times damage to your summons. They will destroy them. The only thing that generally will survive against bosses, unless you know what you're doing, is going to be your Golem. So there are going to be people who argue with me about that. I am a Necro main. I love Necro. I will play every version of a Necro under the sun. Yes, even Poison Dagger Necros. But straight up, the Summoner Necro is a trap for new players. Because you have to know how to do a melee Necro to make it viable against bosses, or you have to really know your summons. And a new player is not going to know that. No matter how many guides you watch, you're not going to know exactly how that summoner works. I will be playing Necro whenever the game releases. I might save it for when the ladder starts and try laddering, but I really don't. I'm not big on doing ladder stuff anyway. I just realized I got a level, which means... Da-da-da-da! We have Holy Fire finally. And it is absolutely atrocious damage, but it will work. Sorry, I will let that one come through in just a second. Frisch, it did get blocked. It doesn't like talking about necromancers. Yeah. I knew what you meant. Against bosses, the Bone Necro is actually fairly solid. He does burn through mana. It's fairly mana intensive, but it's nothing just having a 3 or 4 vertical slot belt and some mana potions won't solve. So, there we go. Easy murder. Brought to you by Namco. There is not going to be an east or west. The server system is sort of monolithic in design. Hey Chris, how's it going? Is there a viable build for a max energy shield sorceress? Yes. Is it easy to pull off? No. Is it good if the mana burn bug is still in? Hell no. But if the mana burn bug is fixed, yes, there are viable builds for energy shield sorceress. It is a little bit more favored in PvP than it is in PvM, but it's still just one of those things that's like a half dozen and 1/6 of another. Ah. Teeth any good against bosses? Too much of a waste not hitting anything. I would not bother with Teeth versus bosses. The thing with Teeth, and I can't show it off right now because, well, we don't have access to the Necro. Unlike things like... trying to think of how to explain it. Unlike things like Charge Bolt and stuff like that, only one tooth can hit a single target. They're exclusionary. Yeah, normal difficulty is super casual friendly. Nightmare's fairly casual friendly. It's whenever you get to Hell that sometimes you'll see a lot of people struggle. But against bosses, you do want to kind of not do summons. If at all avoidable, unless you really know what you're doing. Let's see. Currently downloading this, so it's free for everyone. Yeah, the beta is free for everyone to try, as long as it's available on your platform through a free service. Can you tell people that to find the beta, it's in the D2R page of the PlayStation Store? It will not come up in the search engine. It is in the demo section of the D2R game page. Okay. So it's hidden and it's buried down in there. Okay. I will try to remember that if people ask later as well. They'll be asking the entirety of the stream. Can you save your respec in a difficulty and use it at a later time? Yes. Respecs and imbues and socket quests and all that stuff, even Anya quests, remain until used in that difficulty. It is every difficulty is flagged separately, so it's not an issue to just hoard them. Well, I mean, you could spam it on there, but Wes will never die unless everything dies. We have yet to get a good stone pattern, by the way. Yeah, Bone is going to be your best normal difficulty kind of setup for the Necromancer, and just have, what I do is I call it a 1 in 3, or a 3 in 1. Basically, I'll have 3 columns of mana potions and 1 column of health potions. Use bone walls and bone prisons to kind of hold the bosses down, and then just shoot them with bone spears, drinking mana potions. We're going to be doing a Holy Fire Paladin on this one, but whenever I do Necromancer, I'll be doing a Bone Necro in normal difficulty, and a probably... trying to think of what I would want to be doing in Nightmare form, because there's a lot more options once you get up to Nightmare and Hell difficulty, because you can start going Poison, you can go Summoner Poison, which is generally one of my preferred builds. Bone is really good for hardcore because you have bone walls and stuff like that that give decent buffs to your damage. Minimap on the left-hand side of the screen. Options, gameplay. Where are you? In your auto map, minimap left. You can actually do different places on here. I prefer left because that's where I'm used to it being. You can customize opacity, 100 down to 0. I'm going to go ahead and put it at 90. Apply. And adjust the opacity of it. And we just rubber banded again. That one I think was actually snag, not a normal latency issue. Yeah. If there's any other settings you're curious about, definitely mention them. There is a bit of a stream delay, by the way. So I do try to... In the beta, no, not all classes. The Necromancer and the Assassin are currently unavailable in the beta. I was kind of wishing to see the Necromancer, but it's fine. And unfortunately, we can't get an IO rune very easily. Otherwise, I would test Corpse Explosion with with Black, the rune word. But getting up to IO is not pleasant. Still can't equip anything yet. We get them at like level 9 and stuff. Yeah, we get all of Siverbs at level 9. Because we have that kind of hanging out. We get some of this at level 12. We are going to be going up to probably 45 strength here. Let's see. You're thinking of going Druid. Are the shapeshifting things good? Shapeshifting is good. As far as like talking long term. For the beta, generally speaking, I would recommend more for Elementalists if you're going to be playing the Druid, but the Wolf should work fine. Just remember to use two-handed weapons so you don't get block locked, because you're not going to have all the stuff you need to get your reaction up to a reasonable speed. Craft IO. Someone wants, yeah. It has been requested that I make an Enigma in the beta. I really don't think I'm going to reach that unless I get a lot of rune donations or something. Like, and I don't mean just like, oh, a few thousand. I mean a few million rune donations. You watched a video? Yeah. You watched a video today saying we get all the ladder and multiplayer equipment available in single player. What does ladder mean and why does it supposed to be good news? It's good news because in original Diablo 2 LOD, without modifying the game client, you do not have access to some of the best rune words in the game in single player, and you also don't have access to that guy needs to die, but yeah, you don't have access to a lot of the rune words in single player. You also don't have access to pandemonium events or Ubers in single player, which, I mean, not Uber, clones. You played PoE, but you're a noob in Diablo 2. In Diablo 2, there's a lot of different, like, frame speeds for things. The Druid, and this is the reason why you're using a two-handed weapon, the Druid block speed while shifted is absolutely horrible. So what'll happen is you'll get hit, and unless you have, like, the proper setup for it, if you have a shield and you block while in werewolf form or something like that. Yeah, I know you said I don't know. There was somebody else that was requesting that I make an Enigma, which requires jaw, which is terrifying, among other things. But as far as why you go two-handed, I keep getting distracted. We do need to check houses. We do have a house here. But the reason you go two-handed is block speed is a thing. The Paladin has really good block speed regardless. He's just amazing. Oh, it's not a roofed house. No! You die. But you'll get hit, and you'll block, and you'll be in that animation for, say, half a second, which is just enough to get somebody else to hit you and send you into another block animation for half a second, interrupting your attacks and all that stuff before their action frames, and basically you won't be able to do anything effective while you're in block lock. It's an animation lock of sorts. So, yeah. For the Werewolf Druid, yes. The Bear Druid is pretty bad too. A few of the casters have pretty bad block animation rates, and even if you keep your... There are single-handed builds that use a shield for resists, but they'll often keep their dexterity low. That way they don't get as many blocks going, so they don't get as locked in. But generally speaking, that's why they go two-handed weapons, is just for like higher damage. You're not going to be able to use the shield to block anyway without having those penalties, so it's just kind of like, eh. Why bother? So, yeah. There's one with a roof on it. We can check this one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and grab the healing potions, because we're probably going to need them fairly soon. But let's... No, the roof disappears in here. It does disappear a little bit later, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Because usually, if I remember correctly, it's like right as soon as you hit the threshold. And here, we can stand on the threshold and it doesn't go away until you go all the way in. I have tried PoE a few times, but I have not... Well, I've beaten it, but it was before they got rid of the different difficulties. But Path of Exile is... It's a good game, and it's got a nice core to it. It's got a lot of, like, growths, basically. It's got a lot of superficial complexity, but the core game is actually really good. I may, after we get done, like, that's actually one of the games that's on my list of things to do until Diablo 2 Resurrected officially releases, is possibly next weekend do Teach Me Path of Exile, or Teach Me Grim Dawn, or Learning Grim Dawn. I've played them both. It's just, I'm not good at either one of them. I have not dissected them. So let's go for another Holy Fire point. We're basically just getting Holy Fire until level 11. For me, the big thing is Path of Exile just takes so long. Can't drop anything on PlayStation 4. You should be able to. Let's see. Would you say Holy Fire Paladin is good for the normal and respec into Hammered In and Nightmare is fine? Yeah. Usually what I do, if I'm going to go like Hammered In through Nightmare, and I'm just playing on my own, is I will go through normal with Holy Fire Paladin, and then in Nightmare I will do Act 1 and farm up the stuff for a Spirit Sword and Spirit Shield, and then I will switch over to Hammered In after I've gotten the 2 Spirit items. You love this game and you will play it right now. I'm I'm just glad they didn't try to do a phone port, is all I'm saying. That said, I do need to still try to play this on my phone. And by play this on my phone, I mean stream it to my phone and then play it on the streamed thing. Rather do PoE. The main people who made PoE basically took... the PoE people, they borrowed from a few things. But yeah, Diablo 2 is credited a lot. They also took a little bit from Final Fantasy... I want to say it was 10. Yeah, it was 10. And they took some stuff from... Oh, now I'm trying to remember the name of the other game. Titan Quest. Those are the main influences I can see in it. I can't start the game. It's crashing directly. What platform are you on? Don't you have cell phones? To give you an idea of how interested in cell phones I am, my cell phone is from 2017. And I have no intention of updating it. That guy actually hurt a little bit, by the way. Let's see, is this better than our belt? Sure, we'll take it. We can be Thorny Boy. We're not really worried about mana. I was just drinking it to get it out of the way. So patch 3.15 of Path of Exile messed up really bad. Aw, that sucks to hear. You can't play the endgame because your CPU. What processor do you have? That makes me kind of hesitant to try the game because my computer is 4 years old. It's got an i7 7700 in it, but so it should be able to handle it. It's just I know that I have started reaching games that do tax the system fairly well, like well enough that I can't record it. The smooth direction changing. You can actually break it. I know you can break the direction changing. The little like swap right there. If you do it like fast enough, can actually make him kind of glitch out a little bit, but he gets fixed pretty quick. The most loot rewarding stuff makes your PC freeze and you die to latency. Ah, ouch. If you really want Enigma, gather up the trillions of L. Oh, lordy. I forget what the exact number is. I actually posted it in a video, but I really don't remember what it was. I pre-purchased the game. You can play. Yes, you can play the beta. You don't see the install button. You actually have to select beta branch. So you have to. It's in the versions. Well, 8-core thing. It has more cores than mine. Mine's a 4-core, 8-thread. Oh, I have SSDs. Hey, and she dropped normal this time. I do think they might have actually adjusted the Countess's drops, because I was noticing while grinding a little bit off screen, of course, the Countess, that I was only getting like 1 rune most of the time, even by myself, which was a little bit weird. It's supposed to be inflated a little bit, but I might have just had bad luck. Which is a thing. Where is the 32:9 support? Ultra widescreen. Jesus. And sorry if there's loud noises. There is construction going on outside, apparently. That or it sounds like a construction vehicle. I mean, there is construction going on, but it's not right here. I don't know why they're being loud. But yeah, I haven't gotten to the current end game of Path of Exile. Oh, you have an old AMD. It sounds like you have an FX. The FX were terrible. The current Ryzens are actually really good, but the FX were absolute hot garbage. You hope the Switch will be the same, but you want to talk about one big thing in the big inventory screen. You don't like it because you can't see yourself. Yeah, true. With an FX chip, you might not be able to. I'm not entirely sure. But now we're actually doing reasonable damage. Yay. Let's go ahead and go back to town. Yeah, I left AMD after Athlon 64 because 64 was an amazing chip. The X2s were really nice too, but the FX were just complete dumpster fires. Opteron was a complete dumpster fire.
Good day.
Can be ambushed. Yeah, I would not recommend going into your inventory in the open on consoles. I don't know how I would exactly solve it, but because you still have to deal with like the screens crossing over and stuff. Oh yes, and if you're having a lot of issues with the modern systems, definitely restrict your GPU to 60 FPS. The reason it runs smoothly on mine is because mine is older. Funnily enough, it works great with older systems, but when you get up to the like 30 series RTX cards, you may want to actually limit the frames like they said, so it doesn't just like shove it through. i7 from 2012, which bought secondhand but have a 1060, so that'll work. That should work. Can't promise it. About an hour ago, you tried the Runeward Spirit and Crystal D2 single player. It hit me hard that you forgot it doesn't work in single player. Yep. Yeah, you have to enable ladder runewords, unfortunately. And generally, if I'm doing an important rune word, I will back up my save file in case I completely bork it up. I generally don't have to re-roll anything like that, but I will back it up so like if I accidentally put in one rune in the wrong order. Don't enable VSync from the game as it appears to not be working correctly. I think I actually have VSync enabled. Yeah, I have VSync enabled, but I'm also running a 1080. So, it's an older card, and it probably handles it differently than the 30 series. I have not had any experience with RTX cards, so I just know that they've been having issues with a lot of new games where they'll just like push themselves so hard and like cook themselves and start crashing.
Good to see you.
I feel like the drop rates have been boosted overall because you got a rare throwing knife in a house. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did boost the drop rates for the beta. I'm not so sure it would be that way in the final one, and it does feel like they're actually increasing the spawn rates of XP shrines, so people can try level 30 stuff. That one I do not know. I don't know if they've fixed the sound issue with PKing, which is a major issue. Is it better to copy a build or freestyle it for the first character? Neither one's going to be better or worse than the other because you're not going to know your equipment as well, but I would say freestyle it at first and save your respec. That way, if you do hit a point where you're just like, I can't get past this, I don't know how to defeat this or that, you can go and say, okay, now I want to go look up a guide to see what I should do, what kind of build I should go with. I'm always a big proponent of fuck up your first character. Pardon my French, but I fully endorse just completely messing up your first character as long as you have an out for it. And Diablo 2 thankfully does give that to you fairly early on as long as you save it. Let's see. You wish they had a partial inventory on console. You can't load up charms because you need the inventory room for uniques and sets. True. I know a lot of people who run that way with just completely packed out runes. I mean, I personally don't do it. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. No, damn it. It's fine. But let's see, Black Marsh. Wish they hit. Let's see. Progression save from the beta to when it releases? No. The houses are working fine on the PC version. I'll go back to the house in just a second. I need to get my body back. And yes, there is a stream delay. We're not on hardcore. It's fine. I'd be a lot more careful if I was on hardcore. Yeah, they're shooting arrows at me. So you want me to go back to the house, huh? And yes, I know I'm out of stamina. I just want to get far enough away from those guys that they'll stop shooting me. But yeah, see, it works fine. There's nothing wrong here. This is how it's supposed to look. House MD or House Gryffindor? MD is my preferred. Look over a general guide or just hanging out onto your respec. Yeah, hanging onto the respec is super important for a new player. That is like the one big piece of advice I'd say. Just don't use your respec just in case. But yeah, the roof works fine in PC, but I can see there being issues with it. These guys hurt. Where is your boss? There he is. What are you? Oh, extra strong. That would be why. That would be why they hurt. We're not even going to mess with them. They can chunk me down too quickly. I would say it's going to be better on PC rather than console, but if you want to play this on a couch, the console version is a godsend. The reason PC is going to be better is, one, you're going to have mod access if you want to play any modded games, and two, you're going to have access to a mouse. And I cannot overstate how much a mouse makes this game better. It does that for most action RPGs anyway, so just because you have more precise control of what you want to do. A lot of weird design decisions have happened because they designed for controller first on some action RPGs. The wall, not all walls vanish on the houses. But that's just what it is. Different houses fade differently, basically. You don't like the new UI? I don't like this chunky part around it. It feels awkward. Visually speaking, if I were to give them like, this is super nitpicky nonsense, it doesn't matter at all kind of bullcrap, but if I was going to give them design advice on this, I'd actually extend this out a little bit and give it a flourish that connects it to this corner right here. Basically, you'd have either a slope like that or a curve around or some kind of embellishment right there at the end of it to kind of capstone it. That way it doesn't feel quite so weirdly camera-ish. Console will not have the keyboard and mouse option that I'm aware of. Mainly because they don't want you having the keyboard and mouse advantage over other console players, which I can understand because there is PvP in this game. It's the same reason they've restricted ultra widescreen support. Paladin strength, it really depends on your weapon. A lot of my builds I use a grief for, so I don't need super high strength. So it's usually like 100 and something. So I end up just getting enough for my armor, which I think is like a little bit over 100. Zakara's reset is still available if you progress into Nightmare or even further into Hell difficulty. As long as you don't use it, yes. think the pop-up bar where you can access your character quests, skill tabs, that they look that way is weird. Yeah. See, the window itself is fine. This needs to go out further and connect to it, or this needs to be bigger. Like, maybe start it there and like that. I don't mind the bottom bar too much, but I can understand some people not liking it not extending to the edge of the screen because it doesn't frame as well. That said, while a lot of modern RPGs borrow from this, I generally prefer a top-mounted status. I generally like having these kind of bars and stuff up here with my map over here. So I can see map on quick glance, and this will be kind of... I look up more than I look down whenever I'm normally playing. What... It may or may not be your video card or your system. It depends on your specs as to whether that's probably an issue or not. But... right now I do need a few more levels, because I am too low level to be going after Endariel unless I really just want to rush through. But I would say... oh, hi. That's a lot of dudes. I'm going to come in here. Okay, so he's cold enchanted. Lovely. Let's get him down first before he... oh, nope, he's going to be an issue. Run away. We're level 8. I need more healing potion. There we go. Upper left corner, it is in the settings. There's an in the gameplay menu of the settings, there's an option for map location and transparency. It's in that section. It'll give you an option of top left, top right, or big. For being only level 8, we are kind of fighting uphill right now. See, no graphics card. Oh, yeah, this will generally do better on a dedicated graphics card. It may have the problem with APUs or integrated graphics, whatever you want to bloody call them. Let's go ahead and show that one. The problem with those is they try to share RAM, which can cause issues running games that like to eat RAM. Which reminds me... okay, yeah, it does give more information if we do that.
Good evening.
It, oddly enough, uses the old amounts. Interesting. The bug thing in the bottom left, just to report bugs. I really want to get some of my better gear. We need one more level to get it, so... outer cloister we go. Oh yeah, I forgot to get potions. That's the whole reason I went to town. No! Dang it, Nappa. You like a map in the bottom left? Oh, you like the map in the top left. Okay.
The order welcomes you.
Why did I read bottom left? Let's see. On one computer, you have a GTX 960M, and it says the game should work with the GTX 660, but you got like 10... yeah, 660 is right at the very, very bottom of the... actually, don't they recommend a 670 or a 650? But either way, it's right at that bottom edge of this. Generally, I would say 900 series and later would be ideal. I have not tried it on the system with a 700 series in it. I could try that. It has been collecting dust for a while, but... hoping the mouse and keyboard work over there. Nope, they don't. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be disappointed on that one. But, yeah, it's okay. Process of upgrading Windows 7 to Windows 10 just to play this. Understandable. That reminds me, that other system needs to do that as well. I have a 730, I think, in it, which would be like the very bottom of the barrel. Oh, hey, we got another boss mob here, which means probably a level up. They hit like a truck, but it's good XP. Where are you? Where is your boss? Where is your daddy and what does he do? You're gonna buy a new PC to play this. Well, I mean, some of the pre-builds and stuff like that are getting back into reasonable territory. The video cards are still ungodly expensive outside of that, though. You can almost buy a new computer for the cost of a solo GPU. You can run 4K 60 with a 1080 in low settings? Probably. I run 1080 and just lock it to 60 with a 1080. So... go and grab that, and we're level 9, so that means, yes, now we can actually go get ourselves upgrades. Transfer your save file from the original game to Resurrected. Single player, yes. Multiplayer, no. Your single player saves will be able to be transferred over. Your multiplayer saves will not be able to. Just putting that one out there. We'll save that for later. 10% magic find instead of attack rating. Abso-freaking-lutely. And we will put that belt on too. We'll just go ahead and sell these, because they're going to be in the way if we don't. And we can throw that on. We don't need the cold armor, but we can actually get a mercenary without having to do that quest. Let's go with a Sharon. Double click. There we go. That is a level 9 rec too. So single player saves can be transferred to the live version. To the full version, yes. Single player saves will transfer over to single player in the full version, but not multiplayer. I knew I shouldn't have pointed out that thing, this thing right here. I knew I shouldn't have, because it's one of those things, like, if you don't notice it, it's not going to bother you, but once you notice it, you're like, shit. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Oh. Yeah, they don't... I'm fairly positive the reason they don't want to do keyboard and mouse on console is just for that reason, that there are going to be people who don't have access to a keyboard and mouse for it, so they don't want them to have an unfair advantage over them in PvP, because people would be very, very, very mad. As far as D2R pluggy, I don't know if it'll be the same pluggy dev, but I would not be surprised if there is a pluggy equivalent that gets popped in there. So it's just going to be one of those things. And I just pressed the wrong button because I was trying to get the window up, so it's going to be stuttery for just like half a second. Because I was trying to load up the thing so I could actually tell what I'm doing on stream, so it's going to bark at me for a minute. Because, like, you're trying to load up editing software and play a game at the same time? What? Hint, I have them on my taskbar. It doesn't support ultra widescreen. It supports normal widescreen, which is standard now, but... there will very, very likely be mods for Resurrected. Because the file structure is somewhat similar. It uses different file containers, but inside those containers, the structure is looking to be pretty much the same, judging by the error reports. So, you noticed that half frame before and found an interesting design choice. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's visual background and doesn't occupy one's perception too much. I can understand that. But it still bothers me that it needs to... needs to reach out. PlayStation 5 doesn't support Bluetooth headphones. I did not know that. I don't have a PlayStation 5, and I'm not going to get a PlayStation 5 until they're actually below MSRP. I know that's a stupid thing to say, but I don't use consoles enough to justify that. And I am nowhere near, like, big enough to actually get access to any kind of, like, hey, we're going to sponsor you and send you a PlayStation 5 to try our game. No, that's not going to happen. I don't think even Llama is big enough to get that. On console, there isn't cross-play, there's only cross-progression. So you can take your characters that you've played on PC and play them on console, but console players and PC players will not be in the same games. Beta saves can't be transferred. Single player saves can be transferred. Ow, ow, ow! Stop it! They're gonna murder her. Hey, mercenary, can you not stand out there in the middle of that? Thank you. What boss mob are you? Oh, you're lightning enchanted. That's why. You bastard! All the lightning enchanted bosses. Good lord. There aren't any games on PS5 worth buying one anyway. Well, I do want to try the new Demon Souls, but it's not worth getting a PS5 over. It's not worth spending. I think the cheapest one I found recently nearby was like $1,100. I'm like, God, no. For $1,100, I could buy a better computer than what I have. So, no. Not gonna do it. That is not a good investment. Console gaming, even on my Let's Play channel, is not that big of a thing. And there I'm going to be leaning more towards retro stuff than necessarily modern. And yes, we are going to start leveling up fairly quickly because we are under-leveled for this area. But we are using... suburbs. Let's see, regular little black rogues. You got PS5 for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I actually have Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation 4. And I got it for dirt cheap. I'm gonna be honest, I am a hooker for cheap things. Affordable is always better. I also got my PlayStation 4 for dirt cheap. So, I literally will wait until it goes, like, I got my PlayStation 4 for, like, half MSRP. So, brand new. In the beta, yes, it's only 2x. You're not going to see them give away all the acts all at once on public betas. Beta is still running. Well, not still running. This is the open beta. The open beta is available for everyone to try. Hey, I'm a guest star. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully some of it's helpful. How do you change resolution when you can't go to the option because menu is what? How do you change resolution when you can't go to the option menu because menu is effed up, running 3 times 4K screens in NVIDIA Surround? Whoa. I'm not sure. Because on mine, you actually have to change display mode to full screen and stuff like that, but it only shows on one screen. I don't know if you can actually... Unless it's mirroring it. You have to have a Battle.net account, and then you just get the Battle.net client and select the Diablo 2 Resurrected beta from there. If you're on PC. On console, you actually have to go to the store page, and I think they were saying it's listed under the demos? Would I go Paladin or Sorceress to start if I had to choose between the two? Depends on how new the player is. If they are brand new to Diablo 2, I would go Paladin. It's just tankier and you can get used to the mechanics a lot easier. If you're seasoned with action RPGs, the Sorceress is going to be the quickest for getting your wealth up. Paladin is solid for getting your wealth up, though. Will your progression in the beta carry over to the next test? There isn't going to be another test. It'll only carry over between the betas. It will be white. I would almost put money on it actually being actively wiped immediately after the closed beta ends. I really would just say it will very, very, very... Can I hit the A key like you would to see what kind of stats you currently have? Yeah. There you go. To run for keys? If you have an Enigma, Necro is my preferred for getting keys. If you don't have an Enigma, Sorceress. This is almost exclusively because of Neelathak and his godforsaken Tomb Vipers. Controls are tough for you on PS5, used to PC, but friends playing on PS, so yeah, if you're playing with friends, that's going to be one of the biggest hitches for me, because I know people who refuse to get PCs. So, yeah. If I do end up playing on console, though, it will be Switch. I know, strange that I would choose Switch of all things, but if I end up playing on console, it will be on Switch. Yeah, especially considering I'm only level 9. It's thanks to Sivrbs. This will continue to get ridiculous. Sivrbs is a good starter. Cleglaws can do the same thing if you have enough parts. I generally prefer Cleglaws. Ow! I am gonna die. Let's go ahead and back off because my mercenary decided to stay back here. That said, we could actually bug her if we wanted to. We're under-leveled is why we're getting decked out so easily. Is it just you or does it look like they changed the doors to being more visible on the map? The main issue I had... Well, these doors never really had an issue for me. The one we're looking for is whenever we get into Act 2, we want to be looking for, like, the doors in the Tomb of Vipers and stuff like that down to the next floor. And yes, we are dealing with this, and we could try and bug her. It should still work, but I haven't tested if the non-Act 2 method works. Hey, guys. There's one down. There's another down. There's another down. Those were the big threats. Those were the ones that were hurting us anyway. Yeah, the mercenaries are absolutely notorious for getting stuck. Though to bug them, you actually do want to get them stuck. You got 2 level 30s, you quit though because you don't want to go through all that trouble for nothing. I can understand that. But door visibility is definitely a thing that would be nice. The stairs down in the tombs is going to be the big thing that gets me. We did not get her bugged that time. I can tell you right now that was not bugged because she teleported before we were near a void. I'm fairly certain the bugging happens whenever you get them trapped. Then you're near a void whenever they teleport. So we'd want to be kind of like... Oh, nope, she got out. You escaped, you fool! Come on. Get back in your cage! It's a little harder with this particular cage, because they can just bump themselves out. What you really want is a wall cage. Mercenary bug, it basically makes them so that melee enemies can't see them. So, if we can keep her in that cage... Oh, no, she... Did they improve their pathfinding? Because that's almost like she's actively trying to get out of that cage. Which would be a bit weird. These are minions, so that means there's an extra fast little dude in here. There he is. I see him. He's going to keep running away. You're not so extra fast anymore now that I've frozen your ass. Okay, so let's take their healing potions. I should probably go turn in some of this crap. You like the full map screen with opacity of 50%? To each their own. I'm a big corner map person because I like having clear view of my character. But you could still see your character through the other map fairly decently. I don't know whether that's better than the orb that we have on her, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put that in there. Kabloop. You don't think they improved pathfinding? Maybe. What rune words do you plan on using for these 2 acts? Probably just since I have what I have, probably just going to be using the stealth. I do have access to a leaf as well, but that'll be maybe later if we use it. And yes, I did name this character Hot Topic because I'm old and I like laughing at stuff like that. Boop. I do find it hilarious that we are one-shotting these things at our level. Most of our maximum damage is actually from the weapon rather than Holy Fire this time, which is very uncommon. Yeah, I'm going to go full Holy Fire. Found 2 XP shrines right next to each other. Yeah, the XP shrines seem a lot more common right now. I'm not sure what it is specifically that's causing it. Whether it was a conscious decision on their part to make it so that more people would actually be able to try the higher level stuff, or whether it was just dumb luck. They have changed nothing with rune words. And it's intentional that they didn't change anything with it. There's people who were like passing around rumors that they were going to add rune words or stuff like that. No. The only thing that they've done is allowed for ladder rune words on non-ladder as far as rune words go. There is nothing extra added since the last weekend. So this weekend is just pretty much just so everybody can try it rather than just one group of people. RNGesus is a prick. I'm gonna say it. He's not a... RNGesus is not your friend. I don't care how lucky you are. And we should probably give Longbow to Dingus over there. Let's go ahead and go like that. Why not?
I'll put that to good use.
We have the stuff to spare. And yes, I should have gone up here in the first place because that's the stairs. But yeah, there has not been anything changed since then. So this one should be straight across this way. Let's go ahead and take care of the dangerous things, because our Holy Fire will actually damage a lot of this. Would I want new items added in the future? By themselves, no. I wouldn't mind a DLC that adds like an act or some stuff like that adds items, but only really new items I could think of even having any kind of logical sense would be possibly some low-level throwing uniques or set items and some of the elite items that aren't covered by it. But beyond that, I don't see really a need to add more items unless they're specifically being added to deal with an issue. Some people have been having issues with the launcher, yes, Tomek. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I have had a few people pop in and ask why it's crashing whenever they go to try and launch it. So it doesn't surprise me if there are a handful of options on it. I mean, issues with it. Best one to collect new equipment for the characters. Honestly, I'd start with whichever kind of class seems the most interesting to you first and play through at least normal with that. But if you're looking to farm up items as quickly as possible, Sorceress is going to be your kind of go-to on that because she has teleport and stuff. Oh, and we just... no, I refuse. You keep the bow we just made you. So level 11 means next level we actually get our Zeal. 2-player combos, having one strictly support viable? Yeah. I mean, a single player character can go through the entire game on players 7. It's just a matter of what build you do with it. So, generally speaking, if I was going to do a 2-player combo, I'm not sure which one I would do. You played early access on beta. Let's see. Yeah, the Necro items are in the game. The Necro himself is not officially in the game. Yes, I know some people are getting access to the Necro. Their accounts are probably going to get banned. Just putting that one out there. If you value the sanctity of your Battle.net account, do not do stuff like that. Because it's your entire account at risk for that. But yes, there are people using things to actually get access to those other classes. And since it's beta, it doesn't really matter that much, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ban people for it. Current beta phase is for everybody. But let's go ahead and read back on the messages real quick. I bought the game, downloaded, installed it. Which would be the best class? Blah, blah, blah. Let's go down. 2-player combos. Probably the most popular one. Probably going to be either Sorceress and Paladin or Sorceress and Necro. Depends on which one you'd actually prefer. Necro will be safer. Paladin will be faster. Going to bed, a couple things that need fixing. There are quite a few things, especially on the console version, that need fixing. But yeah, open beta is open to everyone. The reason why people will often go Sorceress plus Necro or Sorceress plus Paladin is you have a ton of really good support skills on the Paladin or the Necro, and the Sorceress has the best mobility in the game. So she's able to pop to places, open a portal for the Necro. Necro gets to drop resists and everything off of enemies, and then, or Paladin gets to do it with Conviction, and it just destroys everything. And the Paladin can actually be double whammy there because he can actually hold a lower resist wand. We actually have a couple paths it could be. The main thing I'm slightly afraid of is running across Scary Boy. But he's on the previous floor, never mind. That's jail level 2. Is there a strict character tier list? You can play any class and beat the game without well, you'd actually probably want to farm for some gear with a few of them, but without having to go through with another character. It is possible to beat the game as any character. We've done it several times. So it's not terrible. And that is a very weirdly shaped spot. But generally speaking, there is a place for every single character in terms of either farming XP or farming items. AVL, open up your Battle.net client, the thing you use to just download other Blizzard games. Go to the Diablo 2 section in there, and there should be a little down by in the bottom left. It says install, and it should be grayed out or something like that. There should be a pull down menu near that lets you switch it over to beta branch, which will let you download the game. It would be bad if there was one class that couldn't finish the game. Yeah. Barbarian's probably the closest to that, but it's still not terrible to go through as a barbarian. It's just very item dependent, and you have to level up to be able to hit things, because level is one of the big factors in your hit chance. Like right now it says we have a 93% chance to hit a Death Clan. Our attack rating is fairly decent. That's because we're level 11. If we were level 8, we'd actually have a significantly lower chance to hit them. Biggest complaint about D2R so far. There really isn't like a big glaring I hate this anywhere in it. Because it's pretty much exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting just a fresh coat of paint on top of Diablo 2. I would say the darkness in some of the unlit areas, because they're using this kind of lighting, can get a little bit but also I'm guessing they're basing it off the same version they're using for this, which this is a bad upscaler of the classic game, so it's a lot darker. Summon druids can be a royal pain in the butt. They're not summoners in general in this game. They do great at dealing with the kind of rank and file enemies. They get trounced by bosses because bosses do 4 times damage to summons. Now note, bone walls and stuff like that are not summons, they're constructs. But the bosses will just shred any summons you have. That said, summons do full damage to bosses as well, though. Unlike mercenaries, which do half in normal. What kind of Amazon do I play? Oh, no. What kind of Amazon did they play? Amazons can actually be the best boss killers, like highest damage boss killers in the game. They're just a little slower to get there. Charge Strike is insane. Boazons do a little bit better versus crowds, but of course the Javazon also has Lightning Fury, which does well versus crowds too. So do the Poison Javelins, oddly enough, just not in higher difficulties. Telestomping with a Summon Necro, yes, is very satisfying. It's also very expensive. Unless you have, well, I suppose you could do the Teleport Staff with it, but it can get really expensive really fast in either version of the thoughts on that. You definitely think something is up with the drop rates and items because you got a jewel and you don't think you've ever got these, at least maybe. I get jewels fairly regularly in normal. They're usually complete garbage, but they can drop pretty much everywhere almost. Beta is Act 1 and 2 normal with 5 of the classes unlocked, which I think is sufficient for what it is. I think a lot of people are thinking it's something that it's not. This is a test of the servers. It's not, I mean, yeah, there's bugs that you can pick up in the game and report those, but the majority of the things that they're testing for in the beta is going to be connectivity and server-related chat bugs, multiplayer bugs, stuff like that, sync issues. Whereas, yeah. As you build Enigma in your Pluggy, the kill speed of your Summon Necro increased by 5. Yeah. Pluggy can change things drastically. I mean, not Pluggy, Enigma can change things extremely drastically. That and these guys right here, if I can actually press... Oh, I keep forgetting. I didn't set my controls. I have to set them for each and every one. And what did I lose there? And I did not save them. That should be good. But yeah, it's all just, this is a test for the network. It's not a test for the game. You can pick whatever class you want and have fun and actually beat the game on hell difficulty without having to stress too much. Big fan of Berserk Barbs with tons of damage reduction and max shield block. Yeah, those are fun. A lot of people love Pit Zerkers. It's a very popular Magic Find build. Chat bug certainly is still a thing. Yeah, there's still some chat bugs. They've changed some of the stuff, though. I haven't gotten the trade spam. Mayday, mayday, we're sinking fast. Actually, sinking fast is a good thing on multiplayer betas. Feel like you just had really bad RNG with Diablo 2. We all have really bad RNG with Diablo 2. It's just the people you see getting a lot of good stuff online are people who have spent 12, 13, 14 hours a day farming. So you don't do 10,000 runs of something in an hour. And these guys really do just... I meant to show them earlier. Oh, whoa. That was a desync. But these guys have a face only a mother could love. Gold Find should be split. I haven't tested that, though. The mechanic in the original was that it split. You've been having fun with dual wield barb? They are fun. For me, my favorite barbarian's probably the Frenzy. Just because it's like, raw, and just go super fast. Nuke everything. Playing an 8-player game right now, and the heal sound from Farah is so funny because you can hear everyone's healing. Yeah, that's a bit odd. I would probably report that one, because I'm not entirely sure that's intended behavior. Although I don't remember if you hear the other players healing in vanilla. I don't think I've actually paid attention to that. So it might not be a bug. It might be. Trade chat bug fixed. Yeah, that is probably the biggest thing. Use of Barb with Immortal King and Angelic set with 2 rings. Yeah, that's good attack rating on it. Only phone connection. No! Yeah, you probably can't play with that. Actually, what is my ping? 141. It's a little high, but I was actually expecting it to be way worse. Because this is the open beta, and everyone, their dog, their third cousin, the, like, crazy lady down the street with way too many cats, and Uncle Ted can all get on at the same time. The thing about the Berserk ability is that it removes your armor, which basically means that you have a shield. All you care about is damage reduction, attack speed, and block. Yeah. Defense isn't that important either. It is worth noting that the attacks can still miss just because of your level with Berserk. Because, yeah, ignoring target's defense is a big deal, but level is still a factor in it. Is that that's the stairs? Why do I always find the stairs first? Probably because the direction I go. I always go clockwise. Let's see. Used to play the Whirlwind Barb with 6-socket pole arm. Okay. Makes things much easier for the Barbarian as you're not looking for items with tons of armor and not dying. Yeah. Well, I almost never look for things with armor. I don't care about defense. I think a lot of people put way too much weight on it. There are builds that are based around it. Don't get me wrong. It's just... there really isn't a point. You can just level up and get the same effect as getting higher defense. Obviously, super high level with super high defense becomes really hard to hit, but situations where that's an issue, pretty few. The more important thing is resist, damage reduction, absorb, stuff like that. That's going to be way more important than your defense. Oh no! That's why I don't play hardcore online, D-Turner. I have had that happen, and it's not fun. Just disconnect and you're just like, nah, I don't get to play anymore. I'm dead. Yeah, Berserk only targeting one target at a time is a little bit painful. Another bug that we're testing, and one reason why we're kind of staying in this game for a while, is that I want... Let's go ahead and put that in there. I want to see if I start getting the slowdown again. Because that would be an issue. So far, I haven't gotten it. TCP/IP, and I know a lot of people. This is coming up in chat, and I kind of expected it. But anyway, 5% chance to be hit is still 5% chance to be hit. Yeah, true. You're not going to get any lower than 5% chance to be hit, but yeah, the faster things die, the less damage you'll take. There's going to be a lot of people playing Paladin and Sorceress. It's not going to be everybody. There's a lot of like diehards who are really focused in on their specific class. You're going to see every class in the game. I think Druid's probably going to be... Actually, no. Druid's probably going to be the least popular in Hell difficulty because he doesn't scale with high player count very easily. Yeah, I know I can drop it on their portrait. I just wanted to see her stats while I was doing it. No, all the classes in Axe are not open. This is beta. You have Act 1 and 2, and every class except for Assassin and Necromancer. But anyway, I got distracted. The TCP/IP thing. And a lot of people are going to hate me for this. It's a security risk. Am I a security expert? No. But I also know that there's a reason why you don't have it in most modern games. And yes, I know that some games on Steam have it. They are older games that have that. Newer multiplayer games on Steam generally will use Steam's free connectivity thing to allow for connections. And that was a really good placement of that. Good lord. Every class will be unlocked. Every class will be unlocked in the final version of the game. As soon as the 23rd of September rolls around and everyone's able to play it, all 5 classes will be available. The reason why all 5 are not available is marketing reasons. I guarantee you the marketing department had a major impact on which classes were chosen for this. That's just something that happens with video games in general. Should do a Barbarian and Druid duo. Prove people wrong. We will be... Actually, the Druid solo or just with like 1 or 2 other people can wreck face. It's whenever you start getting up into 8-player games that his damage just doesn't ramp up fast enough. Yes, D2 Resurrected is D2 plus Lord of Destruction with a fresh coat of paint. But I do hope they come up with a more internal solution to multiplayer, like kind of LAN solution, stuff like that. There are options out there. TCP/IP is not a good one. And considering the Department of Defense refuses to use TCP/IP even though they help development, should be a big indicator as to another aspect of that. Can't wait until the final game releases. Had fun with D2R, but rubber banding isn't fun. They should actually be improving on the rubber banding, but I'd much rather play single player whenever it's going on. It wouldn't be profitable if they did that, Jim, to split them up. It's too old of a game. And people would have been even more infuriated. Necromancer doesn't come until the final release. It's really fancy paint. This is like Warhammer 40k models kind of paint. We're almost one-shotting everything. Some mod support will be affected by it, yes. I'm not going to say it's not disappointing, it's just... It is a legitimate reason for them not to include it. There's a reason why most modern systems will complain like unholy hell if you try to play like Diablo 1 over TCP/IP. Even though it's available on GOG. You have to manually go into like your router and crap and fight with it.
My work here.
And yes, we will bug Andariel. Do I think they'll come up with new classes or save it for D4? They'll save it for D4. Currently, I don't see... It's not possible in the beta to do Classic, but I would not be surprised if it's in the final version as a checkbox. Because it's a checkbox in Diablo 2 LOD as well. What key shows everything on the ground? Alt. You can also change this in the settings, and you can... let's go ahead and skip over the cinematic. I think I might have crashed the game. Oh no, it's loading the cinematic.
Good day.
But yeah, Alt shows everything on the ground. How many hours will you play the game? $40 is like 3 hours of minimum wage in most places.
Greetings.
That's way less than... I mean, it's more like 5 or 6 hours of minimum wage here. It would be 6 hours of minimum wage here. Yes, you do tend to one-shot things through most of normal with the Fire Zealot. So... it's whenever you start getting into upper difficulties that it starts not really sticking so well. Oh yeah, well that hasn't changed. Figured I didn't intentionally check it, but we checked it just now. They need to allow you to do this here and swap them. How do you do mana management? You can do a tier helm, which is tier runes. Where are they? These in your helmet. 2 of them will generally keep you topped off, or you can get a little bit of mana leech, but you don't really... that's not as efficient early on. I generally just go with tier runes in the helmet. But you also don't need to be doing Zeal 24/7. It's just Zeal as long as you have the mana, and then it's fine. As far as me, I am a... I still think $30 would have been more on point for the price of this. Yeah, but that's if you're working for minimum wage, chances are you don't have that 6 hours of minimum wage to spare. It is 100% a personal decision as to whether it's worth it, but... to each their own. Let's see, 81 and 98. Okay, not a lot, but it works. And Dim Oaks is level 8 required, so we'll just go ahead and throw that on him.
I'll put that to good use.
Binge watching for 2 days now? Oh, just be sure to take care of yourself. The videos will stay up forever. It's just, yeah. What I find kind of insulting is that it's 40 USD or 40 euros. Those are not the same currencies. The US side is actually getting the better deal there. as far as absolute value. You can have a good computer and earn very crap income. People's lives change. Jobs are lost. Incomes are crashed. All kinds of things. That said, I still stand by my assessment that I think $30 would have been a better price to maximize profits for Blizzard. Yes, that is where I came up with the $30. It wasn't just like, oh, I think $30 is the most fair for everybody. No, $30 I think would have been a better price point for maximizing sales. Because that would have put it more in range of your middle and lower class kind of game purchasing as well. As far as giving a discount to those who owned the original game, I could see them possibly doing that with confirmed ownership on Battle.net, but there's going to be a lot of people who are mad because, hey, I have a key, and they ended up getting that key from a generator rather than a actual purchase. Just plonk, plonk. Only 1 hour of overtime for you? Awesome. At my last job, I would have had to work about 2.5 hours. To actually get it. But this whole COVID thing has kind of thrown things all over the place in that regard. And this is not the right way, but we are doing it for XP. Because that's all we really have left to go with in Diablo 2. You say, Nono says, this game runs like garbage even on 1650 Super for what they have going with the graphics. It runs fine on a 1080 Ti. That's all I can really assess with it. You have an original key from the CD-ROM game, but not LOD, the base Diablo 2. I have both. Unfortunately, the only overtime I have right now, due to circumstances, is spending more time streaming and shilling myself. Thankfully, I had some savings. So let's see. Is there a build that I've always wanted to try but never got around to playing that you'll go for when D2R releases? Not really. There's some like challenge builds that I may go for, but I've done them before either long time ago or done them in just normal difficulty. Like, I think I might try a full hell difficulty pacifist run, but I'm not sure if I might modify the rules for that or not. Let's see. Runs fine on very high-end AMD 5700 non-XT. That's good to hear. I would not put money on PD2 coming to this. Just because Senpai has already expressed disinterest in bringing it to this a few times. Whether that's actual disinterest or just him talking about the multiplayer thing, I don't know, but I know the Median XL guy said the same thing, though. Oh, thank you for dinner. I appreciate it. It does help a lot more than you guys realize. This is a different development team than Warcraft 3. And yes, beta is still only Act 2. It's possible to play Diablo 2 Classic and Diablo 2 Remastered. In the beta, it's not. They have spoken about it in the past and made it sound like, yes, it will be possible to play Classic. I'm curious as to if the item generation is going to be the same or not in Classic, because if it is, that's going to change some things. I would actually love to play this with older versions of the game as well, but that's not going to happen. Not a single unique item. Ah! I mean, I could drop you some of the unique items we found. You were on the fence about spending $40 until you decided you wanted to try the closed beta, and you was also drunk when you pre-ordered it. I mean, it's a good excuse. I mean, I generally, for this channel, I had to pre-order it just to keep creating content, because one, it just looks better on screen. I'm gonna be completely honest about that. This just looks better. We have Radamant, not Radamant. Yeah, it's Radamant. Almost called him like the name of the lightning Pokemon. Hey, you're undead. You're gonna take extra damage from me. Die, you fool. Didn't even get my mercenary poisoned. Nice. Just a second, I'll read comments. I'm just rearranging stuff so I can pick that up, just in case there's a crash or anything. So I don't have to redo that. Okay. But yeah, beta's only still Act 2. I have been distracted. But yeah, they say that they're going to include Classic on there. Full hell difficulty pacifist. Yep, full hell difficulty masochist. Pretty much. If I do it, I'm going to record it, though. Hard to not have a playability. Yeah, and considering I've been in Diablo 2 since the actual, like, original Diablo 2 beta. I was even in the stress test for the original Diablo 2. I've tried most things. They don't make decisions on how the development team doesn't make decisions on how to handle the development of mods. They do actually make decisions on whether the coding allows it, though. Whether the coding is accepting of it, whether it is going to be easy or difficult to do. Will it run decently on a 1060? It should. Generally speaking, I would say that most of the people I've run into that have been having great experiences with this actually have about 3 or 4 year old hardware running it, whereas people who have like super new stuff are having trouble with like their video card ramping up and going insane, and people with really, really, really old stuff like 5 to 8 year stuff are having trouble with it just not being able to run at full tempo. I found several uniques, oddly enough. I haven't found a lot of set items. A couple of these were donated or found with a group. Bought your entire PC due to drunk buying? Man, if I had the money, I'd buy a drunk PC purchase. But I keep my credit cards away from myself if I have any kind of alcohol near me. Let's see. Had a problem trying to launch the game. A few people have, Tomic. But they were mostly earlier on in the stream. It took me most of a day to download the stress test, yes. It was worth it, though, because I got to play with people who I did Diablo 1 with, and yeah, it was fun. I don't even know where they... It was Plus Holy, and I'm trying to remember the name of the other person. But they were both really cool people. But that was back in Diablo 1 day. Runs fine on the 970. Groovy. I should get Rista tested on his 970 as well. So I actually have some recorded footage of it on there. So I can actually test with it. You started playing Diablo 2 in 2000. I believe, and it was demo, and remember playing starting area over and over again. Yeah, the stress test was only up to Bloodraven. So, yeah. It was a whole different beast. We need to get our cubes so we can start condensing this stuff again. Because this is a lot of just junk in here. This is a Malice. I wholeheartedly recommend it on Mercenaries. I don't care if they're prayer or not. They will have enough regen to overcome it. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it if it was just going to be Act 2, but beta is still beta. You can try this for free. If you decide you like it, you can wait until release and get reviews, watch some of us regular creators show it off, and you can get used to it that way and see if you actually want to spend on it. You were 9 years old when you played Diablo 2. I was... Oh, I can't remember. I would have been just about in college whenever D2 released. Max Roll has a D2 planner now, inputted the gear, skills, and stats for Tesla Act 1 Merc version. The Fanaticism one. I've yet to actually do a video on the Fanaticism A1 Mercenary on Tesladin versus the Conviction A2 Mercenary. Yeah, chips are useful, especially if you're going to be upgrading things. I do usually keep a few of them. I'm not too concerned about it right now because I don't plan on doing a lot of upgrading. Started launcher and PC a few times, and it's just crashing whenever you try to start it. Yeah, Malice is an amazing low-level mercenary item. Especially since it kind of helps them out against bosses as well. Oh, it's a minion. What are you? A lightning enchanted. That is redundant as freaking hell. You're naturally that way, my sir. You're like a mana burn ghost. Thank you, Victor. I greatly appreciate it. I want more people to enjoy the game, so I want to show it off. That's my main kind of goal. Yeah, Diablo 2 is not the only thing I do. It's not even my only channel on YouTube. It's just I enjoy it enough that it deserves its own little dedicated space. So, did we just get another demo? Fine. We're going shieldless for a minute because we now have a demo queue. Let's go ahead and chop some things. Rah. It's absolutely pointless. Shield is so much better, especially considering we have Siverbs. You were the first person to find an item dupe in your group. Man, duping in Diablo 2 is nothing like it was in Diablo 1. In Diablo 1, literally anyone could dupe as long as there was enough latency to the server. Or enough, like, system lag, even. It was so weird. Try to get on at night, but your plans are spoiled by dial-up. Oh, I remember those days. I think there are ways to mute the modem. But whenever people pick up the phone, it just completely kicks you offline. You're like, have you ever died to someone answering the phone? Yes. Call you up on a 900 number. Ah. Am I a full-time YouTuber? I don't make full-time income from this, no. Although COVID situation has kind of put me in the situation of living off of savings currently, so it's just one of those things that, yes, I am looking for other jobs. I would like to be a full-time content creator, but I am nowhere near big enough to sustain that. Automatic, yes, gold does automatically gather. Let's go ahead and murder these guys. I keep looking over at chat, but murder them all. There we go. But yeah, gold, generally, as far as the like graphic of this aura reaches around you, it'll pick up gold. It's a little bit beyond that, but it does automatically pick up gold. If you have that setting enabled, you can actually disable it. I don't want to balance pass, but at the same time, you hope players don't try to melee if they have never played Diablo 2 before. The only melee classes I really recommend... There's a few okay starter melee classes. Paladin is the best, period. He's the best melee class starting out. He's probably your best impression of melee. Kicksin is pretty good for it. Double swing barbarians are pretty good for it. The Jabazon can be, but a lot of people will just end up ranged with her. Your dupe method was primitive as a child. Land connection with friend, give them items to him, and remove your save and back it. Oh, that way of open BattleNet duping was, yeah, pretty simple. Yes, I hate the jumping guys on every character. As whenever we get to that creature in the creature compendium, I've already recorded the audio for it. I have to do the video for it. But the creature compendium thing, I already mentioned how much I hate them. They are the worst thing ever. As far as just being irritating. They're not dangerous at all. The leapers are completely just innocuous. But they are annoying. Because even like an aura, like holy fire, will shove them back. An explosive mouse fart. Let's see. Does BNet look the same as it did in OG making games? I haven't tried joining channels. We can try that after we've killed Duriel, if you remind me. We did try it during the closed beta, and it just didn't do anything. And also, in the screen where it shows you like the lobby that you'd normally have in original Diablo 2, it doesn't actually show... I need to murder this thing before it murders me. But it didn't show any players down at the bottom. I think that's going to change. It looks like they've got a slot down there for player avatars to show. Does Holy Fire work with charge? I don't remember. It should. The thing that a charge is not that picky as far as like what it works with. The thing that's picky is smite. And also they did change the graphic for smite. Explosive mouse farts, yep. Is that not what they look like? You see the holy fire hitting those guys. It's like, seriously. That's how we spread the fire. We don't really have a holy aura. We just have a bunch of plague rats running around farting on things, and we just light a match. You want to see Druid's element graphics? They're pretty cool. I don't currently have a Druid able to show them off, though. I would have to make a new Druid for that, because we already used our respec to make him into a summoner. Jav, Smite, Berserker, and Kickson, yeah. Even starting out, those are solid. They need Crushing Blow, except for the Jabazon. Jabazon doesn't need shit. But all of them need Crushing Blow in Hell difficulty if you're doing solo self-found. I can show off a Smite. Smite? I actually like... There's a lot of people who hate the new Smite graphic. I kind of like it. It is the backhand. That's just what it is. Next level up, I'll get Smite and show it off. It literally is just the backhand. It's great. I know a lot of people hate it, but I like it. It's just like, bitch, where's my money? Kind of a thing going on there. It's just like, why? Why is this Smite? I'm a main Necro. I think my highest level character on BattleNet was an Amazon. My highest level character in single player is a Sorceress, but my mains are 100% Necro. I always have a Necro in competition with everything else, and I judge everything by the Necro. You play Paladin, Strength, Dex. Ah. I don't have it on BattleNet anymore. But I did make a Glass Cannon Necro back in the day. I'm not Glass Cannon Necro, Glass Cannon Paladin. It was a charged in that used a massive damage hammer and would just basically, well, charge at things with it, and he had maximum strength. He just dumped straight into strength the entire time. And yeah, let's just say he killed Diablo in only a handful of hits back then. And that was back before a lot of the like new broken stuff. Ethereal Breath of the Dying is insane on him. because I remade him in single player as well. When are the community PvP sessions starting? I'm not big on PvP these days, but I mean, I wouldn't mind just like starting a game and officiating them, I guess, but I'm not big on participating in PvP these days. It does not do my blood pressure well. Whirlwind 98 before... Jeez. You have more patience for Whirlwind than I do. Old school Whirlwind? Yes. New modern Whirlwind? No. No thanks. Modern Whirlwind is kind of meh. And yes, I'm going back to town to sell some stuff real quick. We might sell that Dim Oaks. Dim Oaks! Yeah, we'll just sell it. Yeah. Kind of figured it was garbage. Let's see. Nothing new there. I'm just going to throw them in. Ruin people's, like, OCD. I used to be really big into, like, doing PvP and stuff, but it brings out a bad side of me, so I generally don't do it anymore in most games. I mean, I can handle it in, like, limited doses, but it's just... yeah. If there's any, like, toxicity in among the people, it just kind of leaks into me, and I'm like, nope, this is going badly. Hi, spear cats. And that, and as it goes on, if people are doing really stupid crap, it gets to me too. At least I'm honest with myself about it. There's people who are like, I'm not toxic, and then they're like cussing like a 12-year-old in a COD battle. That's like, my dudes. That's what toxic is. Shrieking. I am terrible at Dota. I got okay at League of Legends, but I'm terrible at Dota. The EA one is oddly enough the one that I did best on, but they shut that crap down. Started in Amazon in 2000 and kept the character for many years. Lost your account when you had no time due to work and kids. Understandable with that one. They are now teens, and you get a redo. Hey, another advantage of having teens, you can enlist them. You can enlist them to do your bidding and level your characters. And yeah, we can only just play through Act 2. Open beta goes through Monday. It closes Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you're curious as to why, and we did not get the waypoint out there, we're going to have to walk our happy asses back out there. That sucks. But the reason why they didn't do the charm thing is because it would require charm rebalancing. Wow, their bloodstains stay? That's kind of creepy. It's only for this weekend, yeah. Thank God there's no voice chat or D2 PvP would be intolerable. I don't think there's going to be a voice chat, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to come up with something for chat on console for public games. They changed the charge animation. I have a Paladin with charge. I haven't tried it. The other Paladin I actually respect and put 1 point into like everything I could. So I have access to that. We're going to actually do... keep clicking on that side. It's supposed to be on this side. We're going to do Smite next, and we can look at charge. I am not bothered by putting into points into things that are not entirely necessary. This is a character that's going to go away. The entire point of the test is to just try things out and find what you like and don't like. There should be a chat option for playing with friends. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if there is eventually. Let's see. Sorry, I was distracted by something for a second. For a charm-only inventory, they'd have to rebalance like how much they do. Like if they wanted to make it smaller, they'd have to increase the potency of the charms. If they wanted to make it just as big as your inventory, they'd have to take into account that now you don't have to make room for your cube, your tomes, picking up items, anything like that. Yes, it would set a new level, but you'd also have... It would basically favor certain builds over others to have more charms. Because there's some builds that don't need charms at all. Whereas others need a lot of them. Honestly, the main rebalancing that I would like to see is things like... Oh yeah, we need to do smite. So we can show off that there backhand. But only rebalancing that I would like to see is honestly things like Inferno, where it's kind of bugged and not working properly. Console version definitely needs lobby. Yes, I 100% agree with that. Oh yeah. Hooah! See, it's a backhand. Since we have a slow attack, it's kind of a slow backhand. But whenever you get faster attack, it looks hilarious. As opposed to the old smite, which was a forehand where you were kind of hooking them with it. This one is just 100%. And no, this doesn't apply holy fire damage to smite. I have not loaded into Diablo 3, but I should actually have access to the cosmetics or whatever. But yeah, there's our shield bash. It's not super impressive. It works. But yeah, it's a backhand. I actually like it. There's some people who really hate it. I'm a fan of it. I like the bashing things with the shield for smite. It makes more sense to me. Charm inventory would indeed be power creep. Diablo 3, I understand why people like it, but it's not my cup of tea. Yeah, it's an actual shield hit as opposed to the old smite, which the old smite we can actually show off as well. Oh, that's chuggy looking. But the old smite, if we come down here, is more of a slash with the shield, whereas this one's more of a bash. And yes, it's much more realistic. You don't usually slash at people with a shield unless you have a special type of shield. On PC, it is G by default to switch to old graphics, but it's worth noting that their upscaler is absolute rat garbage. So it looks way worse than pretty much any other upscaler you could use to upscale the game. So, like, this looks way worse than it does whenever I'm just playing on the classic game. So if we ever need classic footage for anything, I am going to be recording it outside of Resurrected. Frankly, because Resurrected's classic footage just doesn't reflect the game to me. Diablo 3 is great on console, no, not so much on PC. I should try it on console. Back whenever I was actively collecting games, I actually got one in a copy of Diablo 3, that is, for PlayStation 3, I believe, with a bulk purchase. The bulk purchase wasn't for Diablo, but it was for RPGs. For those of you who don't know, yes, I collect JRPGs across multiple systems. I don't really collect new ones because they're never complete on disc anymore. Well, to be honest, it's easy to fix. Default inventory is 610 right. Default inventory is 4x10. The upscale looks decent, better than running the old D2 110 with... I run D2 through Glide Wrapper, personally, so I actually upscale it to... I want to say pretty close to 4K and then downscale it down to 960. I appreciate that, Gio, and it is a great compliment. Honestly, I think Mr. Llama's a cool person, but I think Dobrunsky's probably top of the hill as far as content creators right now in terms of the stuff they make. So, Cooley would be a very close second, but I'm not into PvP stuff, so him and I don't overlap very often. Diablo 1 has superior atmosphere and music and mood. D2, yes. I always view D2 as like the balance. Diablo 3 is way too much Warcraft. Diablo 4 we'll have to wait and see about where it fits into the hierarchy. And Diablo Immortal doesn't exist for me. One, because my phone probably can't run it. And two, because I can't be arsed to play games on my phone. I'm just not a fan of playing games on there. I'd rather sit on a couch and play games, or if I'm... Aw, he died! You dingus. I need to bug him, actually, now that I think about it. But it's not as garbage as I thought it was going to be, but it's still garbage. You're all about PvP? Yeah, then Cooley is a good creator for you to check out. He's very much into PvP. I think he's one of the main... His popularity is one of the main reasons Llama is probably getting into PvP, in my opinion. But I can't say that for sure.
Yes, citizen.
I haven't watched Sweet Phil. I've heard the name, but I haven't watched his stuff. So maybe I should check out his stuff. I thought he was originally some other game. Wasn't he? I'm not dropping frames here. There was a connection issue a little bit back, but I was dropping frames then. And thank you, Casper. Four by 6 would be okay. Dobrunsky wins because he's Canadian. That's fine. I can go with that one. I have yet to meet a Canadian... Well, never mind. I have met one Canadian I don't like, but that's a whole different story. Let's see. I assume you're talking about Phil. I've actually made LPs starting from level 1 as well. But I kind of stopped LPs because they don't get any traction, and while I enjoy playing the game, there's only so many different ways you can play through it. Been playing 800 by 640 and your monitor just looks so small. We are literally fighting demons, true. Yeah, one thing that... Any advice to anybody looking to get... Because I know that there's a lot of people who are going to be getting into doing Let's Plays and stuff like that of Diablo 2. Word of advice, keep the episodes short, 20 minutes. If you have to edit them down, that's fine. If you just want to cut them up, that's fine. But keep them 20 minutes, otherwise you're going to have major atrophy. Unless you are streaming along with it and are able to get traction streaming. Just word of advice. I don't know why I went back to Act 1. I don't plan on giving up D2 content anytime soon. D2 will be the main focus of this channel for a very long time. I do plan to integrate other action RPGs because I'm trying to think of a way to put this. I will be integrating other action RPGs because right now this is pretty much, other than my savings, my main source of income. So I have to treat it with some kind of business sense on that. So it's like, okay, I will incorporate other action RPGs, but D2 is still going to remain the main focus. Because D2 is, I 100% agree, it is the best Diablo game so far. I can't say whether Diablo 4 will be better or worse, but this is the best Diablo 2 game so far. I talk way too fast. There is a reason for that, oddly enough. No, it's not sped up. I actually do talk that fast. But the reason mainly is because YouTube actually does have an algorithmic point on that. Oh, we did a playthrough of Vulcan, whatever you want to call it. Worth noting, that game is very easy to modify. But, I don't know if I'd be doing a series on it now. Yeah, D2 is the best so far. It is way better than Diablo 3 in my opinion. But yeah, due to how the algorithm works, if you spend more than like 30 or 40 seconds on a topic, people will get bored and click off. I try to keep it relatively balanced. Like if I'm explaining something super complex, I will try to slow down a little bit or break it up to a part where I can actually just do each segment small. But I wholeheartedly understand the talking too fast thing. And generally speaking, I'm working off of a bullet list on there. So what I do is while I'm recording it, I'm looking at the bullet list on one monitor, I'm watching the timer on the other monitor, and if it gets over a minute and a half, I immediately move to the next bullet point. PD2 started out with something I really liked. I'm not too fond of Season 3. It's okay. It's becoming basically like Median XL, which I wholeheartedly understand why people like it. It's getting bloat. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, you will be able to upgrade all the way to the top in single player, and I think you can in vanilla as well. I will try to include more text in the descriptions for guides as well to help with the speed thing. Diablo 3 is a good game. It just depends on what you like, but Diablo 2 is the best of the Diablo series as far as being Diablo. Will I play Barbarian tonight? I can for a little bit. We switched it over to a Flail Barbarian, but off screen. I wholeheartedly see why people like Diablo 3. I personally am not a fan of it as much. I'm not as big on the bigger numbers kind of thing. It is very much follows the simplification method that they've pretty much brought to every game they've done since North left. I know of Extremis, but I don't speak of that on the channel. There's too much drama surrounding it, and this is a no drama zone. What's the best class? Best class is whichever one you have the most fun with. But the strongest class, if you're going for something that can do anything and be like within the top 3 of any of the other classes, it's Paladin. He's just consistently at the top of the lists. There are better people for specific things, but the Paladin is just straight up. If you're looking for something that is competent in everything, it's the Paladin. Let's see. Throw Barb needs to go in exchange for a one-handed throw style with less AoE absurdity. Let's see. I would like to have some post-game in Diablo 4, yes. I would like to retain kind of like this. Your characters are unique and there's a reason to build a specific character a specific way and then play through with that class and do it a different way. That is one thing that Diablo 2 does very well that Diablo 3 absolutely fails at. In Diablo 3, there is zero reason to play through a class more than once. Yeah, he's always been that way. But I'm not going to trash talk him, and I'm not going to trash talk any other creator on here unless they are completely malicious. The only time that it's really worth... Sorry. Almost got to the mute button there, but didn't quite make it. But the only time to really talk trash about somebody is if they're being malicious or damaging to other people. That's my philosophy on that. What's the things I don't like in the Diablo 2 Resurrected version? They're honestly mostly just the same things I don't like that much in the original version. Limited inventory space kind of bothers me every now and then. I would have liked a better shared stash thing, but this is fine for what it is. Although hopefully they'll actually expand the amount of characters you can have on Battle.net so that hoarders like myself can actually keep everything they want. That's actually a pretty good assessment there, Gio. There is something cathartic about just blowing everything up, but every character played the same for me in Diablo 3. Having the proper gear in general for your Paladin will make him immortal. The one that you'll often see me playing in videos just has Magic Find charms in there because I don't need any other charms on that Paladin. The Zealot that you guys see me play, yeah, he's just straight up... He just has Magic Find charms, like Geeds and that kind of stuff. It's nothing special in his charm slots. He doesn't even need resist or anything from them. It's just there. There's a shared stash. It's just the shared stash uses a 3-tab system. It's kind of Path of Exile-y as far as the shared stash. I'm more a fan of the idea of like a pluggy style shared stash, where it's just one page that you're just flipping through to the next one. You can organize it however you want and that kind of stuff. In this, it's just kind of like you have 3 pages and you have to make characters for everything else. My main reason for keeping a wide variety of stuff is actually so I can do more eccentric builds. This Paladin right here has absolute garbage charms, but that's because we can only play through Act 2. All you're going to get are garbage charms. So the eye level of them isn't high enough to get anything like really amazing. Yeah, I have a level up. It's fine. We're strong enough without it. Oh yeah, we wanted to show off charge, didn't we? Yeah, I'll get that. Let's go and identify that. Not worth keeping. That goes in there. Okay, so we wanted to see charge. Okay, so we'll get charge in there. Stat-wise, let's just go vitality. We could go some dex and possibly go with some dex weapons. And is our mercenary level 15 yet? I don't think he is. Oh, he's level 13. But yeah, this is the shared stash that we have. These 3 tabs are shared with everybody. And this one is your own personal one. You have all max attack rating life charms. Yeah, you can get decent AR life charms. You like to hoard a lot of unique items? It would be nice if you could actually just make a custom mule that would just hold all of the uniques and stack them. In D2 you get more of the same gear, but it isn't ancient or primal ancient. Find Enigma and be happy or not. Yeah, collecting... The itemization in Diablo 3 is a royal nightmare. Dex any function besides allowing higher equipment. It boosts your attack rating and it boosts the damage of ranged attacks and certain types of melee. But for the most part, using it for extra damage is completely pointless. The sweet spot for Diablo 2 Resurrected really does seem to be kind of a slightly older computer, but not so old that it doesn't meet the requirements. 30 series seem to be having some issues with it, and I don't know why. I have a feeling it's the same reason why New World was having issues. Yeah, getting max block is another thing for dexterity. But usually for the Paladin, that's not an issue. I don't bother with max block on too many characters unless I'm going to do PvP. Is there any way of getting more info on scaling your damage from skills, etc.? I'll probably be doing a video on that, but plus skills are, of course, probably the easiest way. Synergies are good. Optimizing your synergies is pretty important. Yeah, Path of Exile did a lot of good inventory things, although it is kind of hard to go through 97 bloody tabs with how small the tabs start getting, and you have to go like page 2 of tabs. So you have tabs of tabs, which is frustrating. I don't have any beer. I don't drink very often. Usually it's liquor if I do. But yeah. Let's see. Cheers. I think is, yeah, the appropriate thing. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more life. We can always use more life. Skill choice. Oh yeah, we wanted to show off charge. Let's get somebody far away. But we do still need to invest in Holy Fire. We'll get that maxed out eventually. It's fine. Yeah, only hard points work for synergies, except for summons, masteries, and certain other things. Let's see. Oh, there's a tier rune. I will take that. So charge doesn't look too bad. I heard that it's not bugging anymore, though. I don't even go max block on Amazon, oddly enough. I just use a shield for resist on her. Path of Diablo mod is one of the best and has 5 more rows of inventory for the charms. There's a few of them that do that. I wouldn't necessarily say whether they're the best or not because I haven't played them enough to make that judgment call. Graphics card is a must for beta even though it wasn't for alpha. That one I don't know about. Have you tried uninstalling and reinstalling it? Because that sounds like a C005 issue. There's a lot more zeros in that, but... Because that would be a crash of the engine. Do I think they'll allow modding of the game? Yes. Do I know if it'll be multiplayer? No. There's a few bugs on charge where you'll like get stuck and you have to swap weapons to get out of it and stuff. Holy Freeze got you doing 7-minute runs. If you were to get high enough level, you could do Holy Shock. Last epic have charge. Well, that's balanced around it, but I actually haven't played Last Epic. I might actually have to try it if I can get hold of it. Personally, I think people are a little bit over enamored with charms. Yeah, they're nice, but they're not necessary to beat the game. I remember when Wake of Fire alone could just keep you stunned permanently. Well, reaction locked permanently. Yeah, charge is amazing for movement. It's a very good thing. I'm looking for the waypoint, oddly enough. If you're wondering why I'm just kind of like wandering around in the middle here, as opposed to going around the edge. I kind of want the waypoint just in case I die to Lightning Enchanted Boy, because we are a little bit under-leveled. Well, not terribly under-leveled. I thought we were lower level than this. Level 17. Good lord. We've caught up. We do need to finish leveling up Holy Fire, though. Now, if we respec, we will probably do it if we get higher level and end up just being able to drop out either Holy Freeze or Holy Shock. But that would be probably level 40 something. The low minimum was annoying. Yeah, you have to get high enough with synergies to actually make it semi-useful. If you give the ability of player to remove fun out of the game for getting benefits, they're going to do it and suffer with less fun. Yeah, because there are a lot of people who will just go full optimized. People do that nowadays too. Pre-buffing is another thing that's kind of like, people will do that even though it's actually kind of pointless. There's a lot of runs where pre-buffing actually uses up a lot more time than just going through unbuffed, but that's a whole other thing. And personally, this is my opinion on it. I would rather them leave it alone if they're unsure and let a mod change it than to force it onto everybody and possibly lose a customer. That's my stance. I haven't had terrible rubber banding issues, oddly enough. I know that a lot of people have, but I haven't really had too many issues with rubber banding. My ping has not been too extraordinarily awful either, though. I mean, I've had worse rubber banding on old Battle.net, so... Pre-buffing only really matters with Ubers, and it only really matters in PvP. And that's only in PvP where pre-buffing is allowed. Thank you, Simon. Or Simeon, sorry. I saw that as Simon when I first glanced over. Corona cough! No. I have not had human interaction for a while. At least not outside my house. So I don't have the coronas. I did get vaccinated, though. You had terrible rubber banding on console, but not PC. That leads me to believe that it's almost... not local network issues, but, like, there might be an issue with it going through the PlayStation service to Battle.net. Because I really haven't ran into rubber banding on PC at all. And there is... I'm not going to mention their name, because that's just, like, asking for stalking, because everybody knows where they live. But there is another YouTuber that lives... I could probably walk to their house within a day if I knew exactly their address. But they live within 30 miles of me, if not closer. Probably more like 10 or 15. And they were having rubber banding issues like crazy, and I wasn't having any. And I think they're actually on the same internet service provider, too. New player friendly, yeah. Just start with whatever. Only advice I have that, like, I would just really, really press home to new players: don't use Akara's reset stat and skill button. Instead, just play through, ignore that button exists, leave it alone. Then if you get stuck somewhere, go look up a guide. Have fun with whatever you get. There, in normal difficulty, you can mess around with all kinds of stuff and be completely solid. It's fine. It's not going to punish you that hard for messing around and trying weird crap. That's honestly my advice for how to play any game whatsoever and enjoy it. Play whatever the heck you want in it. If you mess up, you can always start over. It's just a game. You're not gonna, like, end up homeless on the street because you messed up in a video game. And I hear something clanking near me. while I'm identifying stuff. There is a skeleton near me. I'm trying to read chat, and it's kind of skipped ahead of me a little bit. There we go. Let's back off of this. Make a separate inventory, yeah. Okay, start with the source to... Yeah, well... I don't recommend starting with a Sorceress unless that just looks like the interesting class to you, because they are squishier. If you're a veteran player, they're really great for getting your gear up. They're one of the best magic find classes in the game. They can get you access to items a lot faster than the other classes, but they're fragile, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get very frustrated at bosses. It's not a game, it's life. There are people who gaming is life. For me, it's kind of split between gaming, art, and literature. Movies are a big thing in my life too, so. I actually have a movie I haven't gotten to see before coming tomorrow. Again, dirt cheap. It's the only way to get anything. Dirt cheap. Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 are just extremely different games. They're both action RPGs that are isometric. Beyond that, the comparisons are fairly thin. The skill system works differently. The item progression and itemization in general works differently. The classes work differently. They're a lot more different than similar. Diablo 2 is closer to Diablo 1, but even Diablo 1 had different skill structuring. Just in case we die, how are we looking on potions? Absolutely abysmal. Let's actually go get some more potions. Do you think all the old min-max builds will be valid as of like the last season, or do you think the top builds for each class will be different? I think they're going to be about the same as far as top builds go. I think people are going to discover some different bugs and stuff that they can kind of mess around with. I also think that the fact that some of the old bugs, like the e-bugging, doesn't work anymore is going to change some of the equipment a bit, but beyond that, I don't think it's going to change too much.
Good to see you.
Mostly it's because people are playing private games, actually, that you're probably having issues getting people to join. Because right now, a lot of the people getting on are people who didn't experience the closed beta. So you're going to have a lot of people joining in private games, getting their first characters leveled up, and then probably later today you're going to see a big surge of people doing tomb runs. Is Diablo 2 harder than Diablo 3? Yeah, but it's still not hard. First Diablo, each of the three classes could do everything. Yep. The Rogue was my favorite in the first one as far as her bonuses go. The Sorcerer was amazing. The Warrior was amazing, but the Rogue with her faster shots was so much more fun. Now all you need to do is make a decent PC game. Hell yeah. At least that's getting a lot easier to actually make PC games, with things like Unity and stuff like that being a lot more accessible. Unless you want to do your own engine, which that is a whole different pile of pain. Welcome back, Matt. How you doing?
I've been. Good evening.
Let's go ahead and get this and that. You never play single player at all. You're addicted to the MMO life. Understandable. When does Holy Shock outperform Holy Fire? Usually I wouldn't say swap over until like maybe your 40s. Because you want to get Holy Shock up to as high of a level as possible, but in your 40s you can actually max synergies, have access to all that kind of stuff, and get Holy Shock up to a decent level. As far as exact level it beats it, I don't know off the top of my head. Ah. Hopefully work is going okay. Yeah, you're working with Unity for 5 to 6 years now? Dang. D2 and D3, did they implement something from D3 like a mechanic or something? Or is it basically... I'm trying to figure out what's being asked there in just a second. I may not pass. Oh yeah, I have to talk to Draggy. To Dragass. Jaren's stuck in there. Oh yeah, we didn't... Burp. I got distracted by chat and forgot I hadn't smashed the thing. Would it not be fun to take the patch before 1.10? It's also where the old PvP community had back in 2003. I stopped doing PvP in 1.1, so that would actually be 1.11, so that would be a lot more familiar to me. I would actually love a randomizer in Resurrected, but yes, I will probably do randomizer again at some point. Even if it's just old version only. And yes, we are at high risk of dying here because tanking. If I do a randomizer, though, it's going to be on the Let's Play channel, not on here. Okay. Anyway, on the topic of similarities between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, did they implement something from Diablo 3 like a mechanic or something, or is it basically graphic? It's just a graphic and interface overhaul. There isn't really that much in the improvements. The only real improvements are some accessibility options and the stash. I wouldn't mind a Diablo 2 series. I would rather it be produced not by Netflix, though. Netflix is kind of hit or miss, especially if they're going to do animation stuff. D2JSP dueling community, blah, blah, blah. It's fairly active still. I'm not a part of that. I'm not active on D2JSP. I know about it, and I do look there for some like ideas every now and then, but I'm not active in that community. I wanted to run Breath of Dying on a Fury Druid. Do you want to go for a Crystal Sword type or some other weapon base? You want something fast. That's the base thing. You're going to go for that. You want something fast. Breath of the Dying is not really the optimal weapon for that, I don't think. But you're making money from mobile games, but you don't want to make mobile games anymore. True. Okay, what's randomizer? What am I waiting for on the randomizer? I don't care. Oh, you're talking about the D2JSP dueling community. What's stopping me is I don't care about dueling that much. It doesn't matter to me. It was fun when I used to do it, and I don't want to get back into it. Asking like every time, but yes, it is only Act 2, unfortunately. Randomizer allows you to randomize various mods and stuff like that on items. You can also use it to randomize enemy spawns to an extent, like the quantities. Or you can actually accelerate them up to like 40 or 50 times the enemies. It's shared loot. Love Diablo 2 before patch 1.1. I actually liked a lot of things before 1.1. It wasn't bad. Do I not have boots on? I do not have boots on. Are we up to the level for Sanders yet? Oh, level 20. We're not quite up to the level to wear our shoes. Our booties are level 20. Breath of the Dying is one of those ones that's like super expensive, and it's not really better than some of the other options. Grief is just as good in most cases. Like a Grief Phase Blade will trounce a ethereal Breath of the Dying War Pike or a mace or anything like that. But it's just one of those things where it's like, it's more of a status weapon. Grief is the utility weapon. And yeah, I do try to talk with people. I hate it whenever I go into streams and they just completely ignore everybody. So I try to just... My philosophy on streaming is I try to avoid doing the things that I hate in other people's streams. I should probably think of trying to be creative and doing custom streams, but that's a whole different ballpark. What you never understood with those Vipers doing the Eternal Night thing was that Vipers would require heat due to being cold-blooded. They should not get rid of the sunlight. I mean, they're evil, so... Diablo 2 mixed with Dark Souls combat system would be fun. I don't think it would go over well, but it would be fun. You were salty about 1.1. You love the old no. I liked old triple elemental sorceresses. I am currently playing on 1080p because that's what monitors I have. I don't have 4K monitors. Beast is used a lot, yeah. It's used for a few things. It's used for gimmick builds, and it's also used for... Oh no, we've got frozen. Thankfully, we can just nuke things by just being near them. But yeah, Beast is used for a lot of things. Gimmick builds, normal builds. It's such a varied rune word. Grief is still better, but... So is it like Diablo 2 with third-person combat style Dark Souls? I would play that. I like Dark Souls, though. I suck at it, but I like it. Only Souls-like I've beaten is Hellpoint. So... We're about to sprint through here, by the way. So I won't be looking at chat for just a minute. Honestly, I can't think of a single patch that I absolutely hated. I didn't like the fact that whenever they did synergies, they just ramped up the number of immunities by like 90 million. But other than that, there hasn't been a real patch that I absolutely abhorred. Even them nerfing Corpse Explosion didn't really piss me off. Oh, I'm having frame drops again. No! Open performance window. Come on, open it. Yeah, I bet. Oh, yeah, I just started having frame drops again. I apologize. That's on my end. That's not the game. Yeah, I'm having connection issues. No! Stop it. Oddly enough, it's not... I think it's my upload that's dying, not my connection in general. Because I'm keeping good ping to the server. Will the anti-cheat be the same because it doesn't catch any botters at all? Actually it does. The old one does catch botters. It just catches the old bots. They never really updated a bunch of stuff. Made a pally back in the day. Beast and Axe Dream, Dream Shield, and Dragon Armor. I'm trying. But the video may be stuttery for a little bit. Hopefully things smooth out relatively quickly. Just a second, I'll look at that. Let's go through the portal real quick so I'm safe. I want to get this waypoint just in case like everything crashes down or not.
Product of a twisted mind.
There we go. Okay. Planning to play on launch. What am I planning to play on launch? Necromancer. Phoenix Strike Assassin would be interesting, but generally that's going to be for better gear. The guest monsters in Act 5 piss you off? That's fine. Can you be a male archer? You can be a paladin archer. They're called rangers. What is this doing? Oh no. Yeah, it's reporting errors on stuff. That's irritating. Come on, Bessie. And thank you for the super chat, Lightsbane. What do I think about running a Magic Find Source to get things going? If you enjoy doing Magic Find Source, do it. It's actually very effective early on. I have run a Phoenix Strike Assassin. I'm not huge on Charge Assassins, but... And is it still stuttering? You guys want to tell me if it's still stuttering? I can't tell from my end. If it is, holler at me. I can possibly refresh the stream. I don't know how to do that on YouTube end of things, but... Hello again, Outlander. Hopefully it's not too choppy. It's still saying it's chopping. Here, let me actually check something real quick. I can check my upload speed right now. With my slow-ass phone. So I can make sure that it's not going completely bonkers. We will be streaming the entire weekend. Don't worry about that. That's just going to happen. Do you press a hotkey then click, or do you just press hotkey? Slight stutter at the moment, but not terribly bad. It's going to really stutter for just a split second while I test something. And then it'll be back to fine. If you have a rare diadem with sockets in it, it will re-roll them, and you will lose the sockets unless you get lucky and just get another jeweler's prefix. Let's check if something's going wrong. Oh, that was me alt-tabbing. If you're wondering what caused the frame drop there. Have a good one, Sim. If the connection's gonna be really stuttery for a while, I'm still getting warnings and stuff right here. I might just finish up Act 2 and then we'll worry about doing the multiplayer stuff tomorrow when things have stabilized a bit. And yeah, I am having issues with my upload. It is currently at about like half what it's supposed to be. But we're gonna continue on. We're gonna kill Duriel. Regardless of what happens, we kill Duriel. So that is the goal. We will beat Duriel whether it's stuttery as hell or not. As always, questions are welcome. We're not abandoning it just yet. I will fight through hell and high water. But yeah, the game's not perfectly optimized either. But have a good one, Andre. And we'll probably hit level 19 before Duriel, just going through like this. We made vamp gloves and required level 30. Oh yeah, crafted gloves. The blood gloves. Yeah, we have a crafted amulet, so we're right up there. Is hardcore still popular in the D2 community? Yes. There's actually people who will try to berate others for not playing hardcore. I play both hardcore and softcore. Oh. I haven't noticed it drop, but it could. My system's not chugging, admittedly. CPU usage is about 41%. GPU usage is like 20-something. I can pop it up and check if it still is. Switch over to performance. Gotta scroll down for that one. Yeah, GPU sitting at about... Oh, no, it's sitting at 53% usage now. Okay. But yeah, it does seem to do that little bit of a frame drop whenever I either, like right after I alt tab in or out. It'll do it for like a second after. But yeah, hardcore is still popular. I say play whichever one entices you at the time. It's fine to enjoy yourself. If they're using patch 1.14, I went and looked it up because I did not know. But they made it so you don't have to beat the game to go into hardcore anymore in 1.13. See, I'd already beaten the game by then, so I had no freaking idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Get a little bit more life. And I can run while alt-tabbing as well. You never understood the appeal of hardcore. You spend all that time on a character, then it's gone. It's a challenge thing, and it kind of forces you into, unless you've done it a lot, it forces you into a solo self-found, which in and of itself is a challenge mode. But I'm not too bothered either way by it. And yes, we killed those guys over the gap. It's fine. For me, honestly, if I'm doing hardcore, my favorite's going to be ranged characters. I'm not a big fan of melee in hardcore because it's too easy to get screwed by bad positioning. And usually you're fine, but if you get like caught on a corner while going around it or something, you can get surrounded easy. If you're looking for a hardcore playthrough, I think we only have one uploaded. It's the Necromancer, and it's over on the Let's Play channel. We finished it a few months back, actually. But it was streamed over on Twitch. I'm switching YouTube here for just Diablo 2 will be what's streamed on this channel, and Twitch is going to be art and D&D stuff. So if you're interested in art and D&D stuff, you can follow over there, but it's not going to do you too much good if you're looking for Diablo 2 over there. I usually play relatively safe on hardcore. It causes you to actually have to think about, oh, how do I handle this situation that's actually extremely tough without dying? It makes you be more selective about what engagements you choose. Acts 1 and 2 are available currently. Does gear get lost in the void here? Yes. If their drop locations do not interact enough with a platform, the items just don't spawn. It doesn't even roll them. It's like, where can I place an item? Here, 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 or here. And it says no. It just says nothing. It just doesn't drop. And the reason I'm running into these is items. I open everything. And apparently YouTube has stabilized. Yay. I mean, you're talking to a person who plays tactics games. That was a weird frame drop. That one was a little bit different. Oddly enough, usage on GPU and everything is down low. I would show you on screen, but that requires reformatting Streamlabs. So we've already not gotten in the average number. I swear, the only one we got at first try was the Barbarian. It's our curse. I have never played Diablo 2 with map hack, so... I mean, I know it exists, but... And I know people who did use it, but I've never really felt a need for it. I would rather play through the area and actually enjoy killing stuff and exploring, see what kind of weird stuff I run across. Is the beta open to everyone? Yes. You like the item animation. I'm not sure which item animation you liked. only reason you're going to do Phoenix Strike is because you probably made a reason 30 times. Okay. It'd be funny if you could fall off. That would be more Dark Soulsy. Gravity is like 9/10 of my deaths in Dark Souls. So, yeah, auto gold pickup is a definite improvement. The shared inventory is a definite improvement. The opening up of content, especially to single player, like Pandemonium events and stuff like that, definite improvement. And they all died. Sweet. Those guys are going to be relatively easy. Yay, we finally got it. Now, we don't want to get too close, because Mercenary will just run over and get himself killed. Ouch. I need to get away from Mercenary, because he needs... Oh, whoa. Oh, I think we might have just had a crash. Nope, we didn't. Because that's usually what it does right before we're about to crash, too. Oh, no. Die, Summoner. Another orb.
Rest in peace, tortured soul.
Let's see. Hey, Mad Lancer. Thank you for watching the videos. Hopefully they were enjoyable. So with this patch, when we start up, what do we look for? I see you pick up all gems, charms, and so on, but do you pick up gray items? Check for plus skills, sockets. Generally, if I'm starting up from scratch, I'm going to be getting... I'll pick up every gem and rune I find. I will pick up the white items or gray items that are on my list of items that I want to make rune words out of. Like, I'll pick up short staffs, I'll pick up specific types of armor, I'll pick up shields, stuff like that, and check them. I won't pick up everything. There are certain items that you just learn you like more. I will pick up pretty much any rare accessory, such as rings, gloves, boots, amulets, stuff like that, and kind of go like that. As far as where do I go for my Diablo 2 info, Basin. Amazon Basin is the main thing I recommend. Why this game gives you the option to decide less inventory slot for more charms, or less charms and more inventory slot, but prevent us from choosing to suicide by fall into the void. Leap! Jump, you fool! Oh, and now we have to wait for that. And we got downward arrows. I think that's also top right. I can never remember which one it is. I know spiral is the very top. Yeah, it's right here. Usually I can't remember where these are unless I have the little map up. There's a few communities around Diablo 2. Someone has made a new Diablo wiki, but it's not super accurate. Amazon Basin is still the most accurate out there as far as mechanics and stuff as of 1.13. Okay, we've got that. Rare breastplate might actually be better for Mercenary. Oh, we got enemies in there. No! Oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt bad. Yeah, able to kill the Cow King in single player is a big improvement. So is getting access to... Why aren't we... Oh, we're really low on potions. That's why.
I'll put that to good use.
Sure, why not? The amount you jump into your death in Dark Souls is immeasurable. Same here. You're trying to find out how to craft stuff? Oh, if you're just looking for crafting recipes, Ariat Summit is a lot easier to dig through. It's a Blizzard official website, too. Ariat is just spelled like Mount Ariat in Act 5, and it's just Summit. Are there any new item sets, etc.? No. Will there be? I don't know. I don't think so, but stranger things have happened. It's spelled like that. Hey, and it actually put the right name by it. Sweet. Yeah, Ariat Summit is a good place to go and get like all your crafting recipes and stuff like that, if that's all you're looking for. If you're looking for like actual mechanic breakdowns, builds, stuff like that, Amazon Basin is a good start. Their forums are a little dead, but the info on the wiki is just great. But those would be the places. I actually have a video that has like tools and all that stuff listed in it as well. I don't immediately have a link to it, and holy crap, that would actually be really good. We're just getting orbs. Like, it's wanting us to play a bloody sorceress. And I highly doubt we're going to see...
I'll put that to good use.
Yeah, I highly doubt we're going to see any kind of level 20 stuff. Not been to these sites in like 15 years. Yeah, you're going to recognize some names there too. Someone's promoting Max Roll in there. I haven't been to Max Roll personally, so I can't promote it. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? So far, we're looking pretty good. As far as stability goes, we have stabilized. We were unstable for a little while there. Wait a second, let me murder all of these. There we go. You've never killed Bale in normal because then you can't see normal games Bale runs. I hope in the future you can see Norm in Nightmare games as a high-level character. I don't know if we can or not. It would be nice to have that be searchable. I honestly think it would be nice to have a search option on the game thing, but right now it's just you got to know the name and password. That said, what I used to do whenever I was looking for like Nightmare, I used to keep a character who was Nightmare and a character who was normal set up just so that I could check for those normal and Nightmare games and then join them. The most popular one for a while was Diablo2.net, but it had a lot of issues. But each of the forums and stuff like that you can go to just have different types of people on them, so you end up with different things. So Diablo2.net's community, D2JSP, Lurker Lounge, Amazon Basin, etc. like that will generally have similar like core builds, and then they'll have their deviations based on whether the forums are more PvP heavy or PvM heavy, or whether they prefer magic finding or rune finding and stuff like that. Do I like the current Bone Spear animation that you saw in the other videos? They've had complaints about it, so I would wager they've probably changed it since then. The one I saw was a little spindly, yes. So I personally don't care too much, but it's not my favorite animation for it, no. I like the classic shockwaves behind it kind of thing. And they had shockwaves in the video that they showed of it, but they were very faint. Rune words are available. You can make rune words. Oh, the Jaren bug, yeah. If they're rushing you, you have... The trick to that one is just talk to Drognin. If someone got the staff in there. If they didn't get the staff in that game, then you'll have even more issues. But if they got the staff in the game, all you have to do is talk to Drognin, and he'll give you access to it. Or you can wait for Jaren to wander out. And if someone rushed you, they can also portal you into Harem level 1. Which is what we used to do a lot back in the day. We are level 19. We could equip a leaf if we wanted to. We currently have stealth on. I think our highest character's in the mid-20s. I honestly wish they would have added Necromancer instead of the Druid. But that's just my personal preference there. I would have much rather tried out some of the Necro stuff because Necro is kind of the one that I want to play in the final version, but I'm not going to begrudge them that. It's a marketing decision. Again, like I said, Necros, Druids, and Assassins have very, very vocal communities for their niche. Yeah, a Leaf on a Paladin. I can run this build with Leaf. It's +3 fire skills. It works with Holy Fire. We are Holy Fired in. We're also like grabbing random other skills to show off, but it's a short staff, so it's fast enough that I can actually do that. In normal difficulty, I mean, in the beta, yes, there's only one chance to respec. In the finished game, you have one chance to respec on each difficulty, and then you can farm the act bosses in hell difficulty to get dust, which you can craft into a token to respec. So it requires you to work to respec, but you can respec. Let's see. Is it certain spots you farm runes, charms, or always random drops? There's spots that are better for farming runes just because the enemy item pools, but what charm you get does just, it's random from like what it can drop. Yeah, Holy Fire destroys normal. It can work into early Nightmare as well. So that's going to go in there. We're going to accept that. We're going to go ahead and pop up that town portal. The cow in Act 1 is like a ghost? I can check that in a little bit. But yeah, we can put Leaf on him. I should probably just go into a game and drop those.
Blessings to you.
Because I really don't need them. And is this any good? Yes, actually. Easiest way to open multiple pots or urns, same way you open a single one, just kick them. Sadly, there isn't really another option. I can go look at the cow. There's a few spawn locations for cows, though. I'm actually going to do this for the mercenary as well.
Thanks.
There you go. We gave him several potions as well. Right now I'm doing Holy Fire Paladin. Just because it's easy. It's easy McCheesy. But yeah, we're doing Holy Fire just so we can get through here, and then we're going to be grinding up some levels and possibly grinding some items. We'll do some public games with viewers. Maybe not today, because we've been having internet issues, but tomorrow for sure, after things stabilize, and we'll just do some public games where we do tombs and stuff like that. Maybe host a game where I commentate some people PvPing. I'm not really interested in PvPing myself. I know that makes some people sad, but let's go kill Duriel. Ow. Oh, wait. We actually have... Oh. We're using the wrong thing for that. Smite. Not really working too well. Let's go ahead and go Zeal. Yeah, there's a shortcut for filling the belt. It's shift click. But yeah, there really isn't an easy way beyond just smacking them. It's unfortunate, but it's not too bothersome. And yes, that was as easy as it looked. Longbow. Is a giant sword any good? Probably not. Not really. Studded leather. It's better than what he's using.
I'll put that to good use.
Although faster hit recovery is pretty nice. It doesn't have any other mods that I really need. Did they? I didn't even notice. I was just smacking him, but yeah, Holy Freeze bug was a thing. I have a feeling that might have actually been a server-side bug rather than a game bug. Just a weird hunch on that one. It might have been something to keep the insta-death from happening. The game does take a little bit to load at the very beginning, but I haven't had any issues with it loading in. There are people who have, though. Do you need to be a required level, for example, Duriel, or... Actually, you don't... To do Duriel in any game, you don't actually have to be a required level. Required levels are things like the Ancients, and there is a required level for the Malice, oddly enough. But as long as you can kill them, you're fine with Duriel, if I remember correctly. But no, they don't scale with your level. The higher level you are, the easier it is for you to hit them, though. Because they have a base level based on what difficulty they're on and stuff. So, we've gotten through and destroyed Duriel. Do we want to go do some tomb runs? Maybe, if the connection holds up. Oh, that actually reminds me.
Greetings.
Yep, it still doesn't do it. Yeah, I had to check. But Kane doesn't identify stuff in your cube right now. That needs to be fixed. That might be fixed in the finished version, but that definitely needs to be fixed, period. Yeah, there's a level 20 requirement in normal for the Ancients. There's a level, I want to say it's like 6 or 8 or something like that for the Malice. There is a level requirement on it. I can't remember for the life of me what it is. Chances of you encountering it are pretty much nil because nobody just rushes the imbue. Because the way imbue works, you don't... The only people who would want a rushed imbue would be low-level duelers. And even then, it's kind of, do you really? I'm not entirely sure if you really do. So we're level 12 Holy Fire, level 3 Fire Resist. Pretty solid on everything. We need to go talk to Jaren first. Yes, this is Resurrected. Does the Andy bug work? As far as we can tell, I don't have a large enough data set to say, like, it works, period. But as far as it looks like it's working. They might have just made a facsimile of it to make it work. And yeah, that was another frame drop. Don't know what's causing that every now and then. But we're having more alerts on my end. Great. You can't play the beta offline. In the finished version, once you've downloaded it, you will be able to play offline. It just checks in so you can download it, and then you'll be able to play single player without being connected to the internet. You remember rushing characters get abused to craft your Dream Lance in OG D2? In D2 LOD and most likely Resurrected, the modifiers you'll get on the item are going to be based on your character level. Even if you're imbuing it in normal difficulty, it's going to be based on that. I'm pretty sure it does work, because I haven't been getting Andy drops that aren't appropriate. The Andy bug is basically you kill Andariel, then you immediately go to Act 2 before leaving the game. I'm not getting the weird bog down that we were getting before. I am, however, getting occasional stutters. Like right now, I think the game is crashing, but... Oh, no, it didn't. We were just leaving. Sweet. So there's a few things we want to test. Let's go ahead and back up out of there, so we don't look like a complete numpty there. No, nothing there. It doesn't let you like join channels yet. This I don't think is active right now. You're having some lag, Gold Thunder? Yeah, it depends on where you're at. I hope one day I can see myself playing your game as well, Ender. It would be over on the Let's Play channel, but one day. Died as she was down to like 5% health, but you came back and got her? Awesome! One nice thing about the Act Boss is if you're ever really struggling on an Act Boss, they don't heal. So as long as you're doing some damage each time you go down there, they will eventually die. Whereas normal enemies will heal. Yeah, Andariel Bug just improves the drops of Andariel. It makes her quest drop every time, as opposed to first time drop. Oh yeah, the gem thing works. I don't know if it says like the moo and stuff like that, but we clicked it for a while in the closed beta and didn't get anything. But you could literally sit here for hours and not get one. It's just RNG. Not really a point for normal, but yeah, in Nightmare in my opinion is the best one to bug Andariel on. Hell is okay. Yep, Let's Play Everything is the Let's Play channel. That will be in the description here. I list my art channel on here. I don't list my 4th channel, because my 4th channel is an experiment. Those other channels are just like, these are things I enjoy. If you want to enjoy them with me, join in on them. First time fan, how do we compete against keyboard and mouse with regard to loot? Generally speaking, unless you're playing with a controller on PC, you're not competing with keyboard and mouse for loot. Because it's not cross-play, it's cross progression. So if you play on Xbox, you're only playing with other console players. You're not playing with PC players. When you came back, he was at full HP. That's a bug then. You need to report that. They're actually not supposed to heal. They were programmed explicitly not to heal. So if they're healing in this, that's a bug you need to report. Have a good day, Ender. So let's see. Do we join free crap? Sure, there's probably not any free crap in there, but we can drop some. And let's go see that transparent cow. Yeah, having to pay to play on 2 different platforms is definitely a... Oh, we have auto party on.
Now that I'm...
Go west. It's shared loot. Regardless of what platform you're playing on, but you're just competing with other players on that platform. And yes, I am dumping items. Let's see, what else? I'm going to keep my tier. What else do we want to just give away? don't think there's anything else I really want to just give away. Probably won't use Stout Nail. Okay. You were watching a classic Diablo 2 stream the other day and you saw that he reset the games but the layers and dungeons didn't reset. That's single player. That's not any kind of special mod or anything. It's just single player. You're old school gamer, but this stuff... the way you reset maps in single player is you either go into a multiplayer game or you do different difficulty and it'll reset the map. You're old school gamer, but this style is old. You hate the system of Tetris inventory. A lot of new games still use Tetris inventory as well, though. And hit enemies without avoid hits, but I hope players enjoy it personal. You stuck in the style. But Bloodborne's a good game. I haven't gotten to play it. I play all the other Souls-likes, though, because I have Bloodborne. I haven't gotten to play it. As far as you're aware, there is only shared loot. Yes, that is true. There is only shared loot. Play a pacifist. We actually have done a pacifist playthrough. We did 99.7% pacifist. We beat the crap out of Desace because I didn't feel like doing it twice. But if we do a proper pacifist playthrough, we will actually kill Desace with it as well. We just need to get lucky. Is running an MF source a dumb idea in beta? Nope. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep any of the items whenever the full game releases, but yeah. Nah, I don't need anything. Thank you, though. But if you want to give it to other new people, that's... Oh, we're in a full game, apparently. But the name of the game was... I can actually enable it. Because tomorrow we're gonna be doing a bunch of group things, so I might as well enable it now. Because I will forget tomorrow. Free crap. Gotta wish the game was cheaper, but it's graphically the game's an improvement. I don't know if it's a $40 improvement for most people, but it is an improvement. If you can justify the $40 for what it gives you, then it is worth the $40 to you. My $30 assessment was just for optimizing their sales. Ultra-wide support. They've actually stopped ultra-wide support. There's the game name. There is controller support. Da-da-da-da. Like that. I can actually just switch back and forth between them. There is a bit of a hiccup whenever I do it, though. Some people have left. People just snag it as quick as you put it down. Let's see. Oh yeah, we wanted to check on that cow. Came here to look at a cow. Oh, it doesn't actually go transparent. It used to. When you'd walk behind it.
Yes?
I can join that game. Yeah, there's controller support. What do I do if you have 50,000 hours in Diablo 2? Get 50,000 more. No longer available. If you're on a console, I can't join your game, though. Favorite quality of life change? Shared stash. That one's an easy one. Is Hammered In good? In Nightmare, yes, or if you get high enough level. Beta is open beta. If you're on PC, you open up the Battle.net client, go to the Diablo 2 section, and you go to the pull-down menu. You will be able to switch over to the beta branch and download it from there. And then you can launch it from there. You actually have to actively switch it over to that. And I'm not going to linger in this area very much. Ideal amount of magic find? Depends on what you're doing, but generally speaking, let's go. Let's join that game. Because I don't want to stick around in that lobby. People will get toxic in there. It's public lobby. I can understand that one, D-Turner. I don't see anybody in there. If you wanted nostalgia, you'd buy the original. Yeah, it's still just Act 1 and 2 for the beta. Full version is going to be everything. One thing to note, if you're waiting for it to go on sale, I would not expect it. Public lobby in every game gets toxic. Who are we kidding? But, surprised no one spotted that yet. Oh, let's see. I think they should keep the current release date. I think they're on a different branch, though. Development branch and beta branch are separate. I would wager this game has been cleared out, if I had to guess. Maybe not. Free experience, I guess. The characters will get wiped whenever it goes to the full version, yes. But I think a lot of people are trying to think of how to phrase it. Give us a barb guide. I'm working on one. See if the tombs are cleared or not. Oh, they are. The tombs have been long cleared. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, going on sale, it's not going to usually happen with Blizzard games. They're kind of like Nintendo, where they just don't put things on sale. So... good place to look for groups of players if you're returning to Diablo 2 after 20 years. There's going to be a bunch of forums crop up. Honestly, at this point, I'm not entirely sure forums are the right thing to do. I would probably just find a streamer community that you get along with and join their Discord and just start forming games in there. I know that a bunch of Llamas players will do games. I know that... yeah, this one's been cleared as well. No. Playing beta for the first time today. Do you think the Paladin build where you stack fire resist and kill with auras is boring? No, not really. I would like to play Necromancer, but I can't. This is just kind of a chill build that I can look at chat and enjoy that while still doing the runs. So, it's just one of those things where it works well. Yeah, are you on console, Geo, just out of curiosity? Because that would explain it. That, or it does have some kind of separation in regions. I didn't play WoW, oddly enough. I'm not big on MMOs. Funnily enough, the monthly fee is what turned me off of it. This one's probably already been cleared. If I had to guess, they're probably on like Tomb Run 8. Get him. Go home, play your Javazon tonight. Javazons are good boss killers. They are amazing. The poison Javazon is good area clearer and normal though. It's a good one to start with. It's fairly safe for normal. I mean, yeah, you might die every now and then, but that's going to happen with any build if you get into a pickle that you're not really expecting. But this can handle everywhere. You're having a problem trying to play it on... Oh, you're trying to play on a Mac. I'm sorry. Especially if it's a newer one. Macs really don't like 32-bit software. You can get it to work, but it's not going to be easy. I'm sorry, Ivan. That sucks. Oh, someone's chugging through those Tomb Run series. That one's been open for too long. So let's go Tombs. Not even open yet. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call this a stream. We are having some more stuttering and stuff like going on. I'm seeing, not the game stuttering, but I'm actually looking at my streaming software and it's saying that there's issues. So we'll probably do some just tomb runs and stuff like that. Maybe some PvP stuff, maybe. Tomorrow, and yeah, around the same time, around the same place. Last there in 2003, good God. But yeah, it's a great place. Amazon Basin. If you guys are wondering what I'm responding to there. But yeah, we'll stream again tomorrow. Saturday is going to be the normal ones, and yes, open beta is still just Act 2. Yeah, not having lightning resist is absolutely terrible in Act 2. But anyway, as always, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. If you guys want to check out some art stuff, I probably will be doing an art stream later on Twitch. But I need to get a break, get some food, get all that stuff, and figure out if my internet connection is actually going to be decent for tonight. So, see you guys next time. Bye.